Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, all you awesome people. Welcome to I Got Gameplay. I am your wonderful host, Travis Goss, taking over reins for this particular episode. And this week's episode is all about the most wonderful Italian mustached plumber from Brooklyn. We're talking about Mario. And we got the wonderful cast of cool cats here with us this evening. Sitting to my virtual left, the man who, well, not many words can be said about this man. He is totally one of the coolest guys of Fanboys Anonymous, and I'm talking about none other than Nick Enderle.
Hello, hello.
And also sitting to my other virtual left, which would be Nick's virtual left, I suppose, would be the guy who rocks one of the coolest 8-bit ties I've ever seen this side of the internet. He is none other than Zack Latour.
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right, cool. Yeah, what's up, player?
Not much. And, of course, I am Travis Goss, like I said before, the host of Rose Colored Let's Play, as well as Rose Colored Reviews. But anyways, yes, I'm taking over this episode because Michael asked me to. And, yeah, we're having this, how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm just alive and kicking. How about you?
Oh, that's good. That's good. And anyways, I'm kind of nervous because I'm kind of used to hosting my own shows, but doing this for a friend, especially as major of a show this is actually pretty nice. But if anybody out there who is listening to the show wants to participate, would you please give us a call at 718-664-9265. And let's see here. I'm just trying to figure out what we can do here. I'm just trying to get things scheduled and fixed. Okay, because right before we went to the air, I just had a bit of some issues here, but I got it all handled. So, and I'm trying to get Michael Burhan on, and he's going to be on probably just a little bit later on during the show. And just messaged him, and Michael, I hope I'm doing a good job for you, my man. Okay, but anyways, we're going to go into what is, I think, one of the coolest parts of the whole show, and that is none other than the news. So, I'm going to pass this over to Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, Nick. Buddy, what's in the news this week?
Oh, a couple of interesting things I found out. Actually, the funny one, well, funny to me, not for some others, is the MMO game Eve. Actually, a couple days ago, had a large-scale attack which cost players $500,000 real-world dollars based off of damages and attack because they didn't pay protection fees.
Oh no, that's not good.
Over 4,000 players were involved in this attack.
Damn.
Everybody playing at the same time. Now, for others, it's not funny, but for me, it's kind of funny because I don't think you should actually have to pay protection money in a game.
That's okay. Now let me get this straight. First of all, before we continue, I just brought in one of the coolest awesome, most spectacular, sexy bald man in the world. Besides myself, he is the brother from another brother from across the pond. He is Michael Burhan, the nerd genius.
The Michael Burhan is pleased.
You still talking to third person?
Yes, Michael Burhan was told that he talks too much in the third person. So Michael Burhan decided to do a whole week in the third person. Michael Burhan is now getting himself a meal after Michael Burhan did a work session. Michael Burhan is hungry.
Michael Burhan is ash.
Michael Burhan is watching his ass grow.
Alright.
You start saying we approve, I'm going to start questioning your sanity.
Yes, I think we could have as many of those things as we got. Who else is on the show tonight?
We got Zack Latour, and of course, guys, Nick. And
Zack Latour, I've heard he's got a big penis.
Dude, the biggest. You don't even know.
yeah, and looks like it's just going to be the four of us this evening. But anyways, Nick, since we have Michael just joining the show, can you go and recap the story you just told us?
Basically, what ended up happening is EVE Online, the MMO game, had 4,000 players participating in an attack that cost $500,000 in damages because players didn't get a protection paid. So they had an attack, and one of the guys who's talked about it said he got a text. Several people actually called up from work to jump in and fight back.
Yeah, can I have some sauce on there, please? Can I have mayo, light mayo, please? Michael Burhan is hungry. Michael Burhan is getting food.
I'll have the fish and chips.
Michael Burhan wants to know a bit more about EVE Online.
Okay. Anyway. Excuse me. But yeah, that's bad or about game protection money in the game. I don't get time for that. It's actually kind of funny.
Well, in terms of EVE Online, does that mean that the game itself is suffering, or is it more due to Bitcoin?
It's more. I don't know. Like I've heard that you pay like actual cash credit cards, and they have everything for in-game currency. They can self-deal with money.
Yeah, Michael Burhan heard that they actually use in-game currency such as Bitcoin in order to actually do trading.
Yeah. I'm sorry, you're referring to yourself in the third person. It's cracking me up.
Don't encourage him.
I try to knock you, Travis.
Oh, man. So you got this more news for us now.
Thank you. It is cold. Michael Burhan's testicles are freezing. So, well, in terms of the game itself, does it mean that the game itself's going bankrupt, or is it just the fact that...
No way.
There's no way. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. So what does that mean for EVE Online as it is?
What it just means for the players is that they're out $500,000 that they invested in the game, or that they could have earned because there's like 100 ships that were destroyed that take a month in game as well as real time to build. This is one of the largest attacks.
Michael Burhan is very upset for everybody who has lost a ship. Let's mourn for 5 seconds. Mourning over.
That was never 5 seconds.
It was 5 seconds in Michael Burhan's time.
All right.
Michael Burhan time has no relevance in terms of time and space. So, anybody else's opinions on this?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I mean, the thing about EVE is that there's a bunch of trolls on there, and they're always going to be doing this shit. So, you know, they aim to do this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think it's funny. And, you know, it's like when this kind of shit happens, the people who are affected by this, like, actually email the developers and stuff, and they just say too bad. Like you're getting into it, so that's what it is. So, yeah, I think it's great. Keep it alive. One thing I hate about League of Legends is, like, if somebody says, like, a bad game to you, you can, like, report them, and they can be banned if enough people want to do it. But in EVE, you can do whatever you want, and no one gives a shit. It's like the Wild West. So I think it's one thing that's keeping, like, internet gaming alive in its truest form.
So you're more sort of comfortable with the fact that you can get butt raped and they have no issue about it?
Yeah, I mean, we had Tom on the show a couple episodes back, maybe like 5 episodes back or whatever, and he's a huge EVE player, and if I had seen this in the news, I would have asked him actually to come on and talk about it. But pretty much, like, there's people in EVE that pose as banks, and they have people deposit all their money into them, and then they just take their money and fucking walk away with it. Like, if you're dumb enough to do this shit, then people are just going to steal all of your stuff, and that's life in that game.
Michael Burhan agrees with that statement.
So, like, yeah, I mean, if your shit gets blown up, whatever, if you get trolled and whatever, just whatever. Sorry, that's life, and no one cares.
They need to file for Michael Burhan protection.
Yeah. And, you know,
that's where Michael Burhan comes to.
That reminds me
of
like
Michael
some old,
Burhan
like,
comes
mafia
with a Star
shit.
Cruiser.
Yeah, it reminds me of some old mafia shit. Like, yo, pay me or we're going to fucking bust your windows out on a Wednesday. You know, it's like, okay, whatever.
Tony Itali is actually working in Second Life.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I think it's awesome. I support EVE 100%, and I support the trolling.
We've got a good racket going on here.
Yeah.
Okay. I totally agree. Absolutely. This is absolutely...
Michael Burhan agrees.
This is absolutely crazy by all means, but damn. Anyways, moving on, Nick, what else have you got for us?
Another thing that I was reading was the online free-to-play game Killer Instinct is actually setting to update so they can punish the players who disconnect. After 10 matches, 81 who has a 15% or higher disconnection rate will be put in in-game jail where you have to fight other players for 24 hours that were sent to jail.
That's ridiculous. If someone I agree. If someone disconnects, just say Michael Burhan agrees. If someone disconnects and it's not their fault, why are you going to punish them? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I think it's more like, you know how they have Burhans, you know how there's like you can get pins and shit? You know the pin thing?
What, a pin?
Yeah, so like every like month or whatever, there's like a different thing to accomplish, and if you accomplish it, they send you a pin.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so like one of the
yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, go on.
Oh, so like one of the first pin was like win like 10 online matches in a row, and people so if they won fucking 7 in a row and they were losing their 8th, they would just quit out, or losing their 9th or losing their 4th, they would just quit out to start again. So if you have all these fucking people quitting out to do all this bullshit just because they want this pin, you're gonna have thousands of people just fucking ditching matches.
You can be put into this jail for 24 hours at a time, up to 5 days.
What's up?
They put you in this jail for 24 hours, and each time you disconnect after 15%, they put you back in there for 24 hours at a time. So you can be up in this system for 5 days.
Yeah. Well, what if you fight someone in jail and lose? What happens then?
They apparently, from what I'm seeing, let me go back here, is not saying anything about if it's considered to be a win or not, because anytime you disconnect, it's an automatic loss.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a given.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's a given, but there's like loss due to losing and loss due to like disqualification, which is like what leaving is.
Yeah, that's all they're really saying. They're not saying what happens when you're in jail, if this jail thing, if you actually have any matches that you're prone to win or not.
Yeah. I really think this came about due to the whole idea of like things to accomplish in the game and winning a certain amount of fights and that kind of shit.
Yeah, this is absolutely crazy. Here, all along, I was really on the fence about getting Xbox One so I can play this game. But if this is how they're going to treat anybody who plays, I mean, I can see that they're trying to do this as fair as possible, but that's a bit extreme. So you know what? I'm sorry, Microsoft. You have totally just made up my mind for me. I absolutely will not get an Xbox One. And for that, I will give you one of the coolest things in the world, this.
Wait. That's the tipping point for you, this? Not all the other bullshit that's happened? This is the tipping point for you?
Well, for me, that's the tipping point because you don't understand. I am a long-time Killer Instinct fan. I wanted to play this game so bad. I was going to even go to the point of not only getting the system, but also get the Ultimate Edition where I can also get 2 versions of the arcade game. Okay? I know this sounds absolutely crazy, and I apologize for making it sound like that, but this was a big deal for me. And if this is really how they're going to treat anybody who plays this game, have it go to that extreme, that's it. That's
right.
It. Finally,
what was the reason of banning again? How many matches did you have to ditch to get banned?
It's after the first 10 matches, a ranked match. This is from the article on GameSpot. After the first 10 matches, a ranked player will be shipped off to jail if they notch up 15% or higher disconnection rate. But what doesn't make sense to me about this, and this is actually Double Helix, the company who makes the game, is doing. Let's say you have an unstable internet connection. If you keep disconnecting, it's not your fault, and you're being punished, then why even have the game if you know it's going to happen? It's going to drive people not to want it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, that's a great point.
Michael Burhan agrees with this.
but that's a good point, Nick. It's just that if you lose your connection and,
surprise, motherfucker.
This actually ends up happening to you. You're thrown into this virtual jail of time. This is ridiculous. I mean, come on, really? I mean, I know that if you lose a game, lose gracefully. Don't be a douche and just pull out at the last moment.
Well, no. I don't even think it's these people being a douche. It's like I was saying, like with these pins, like if you're not going to win, it's not even being a douche and losing gracefully. It's just cut out so you can start again. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, why if I have to win 10 matches in a row and I'm on my 5th match and I know I'm going to lose, why the fuck even stay to lose? Like, just start the fuck over again so you can get this pin. I really think that is what sparked this, and I think that is what really made people ditch all these matches, because this hasn't been big in, like, Mortal Kombat 9 when it was online. It hasn't been big in, like, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 online, so it just seems like it's big in here because people are just pulling out to start again.
Oh, that's ridiculous. But
sounds like my sex life. You pull out to start again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pull out, shoot on the wall, and start again.
That's Zack mythology behind this.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, moving forward here, Nick, did you have anything else, or was that all that you had?
That was it.
All right, and I'm going to pass this along to Zach. What's in the news?
Okay, I got a couple things. First of all, everyone remember that Zelda 4 Swords, if you're in, I guess, the United States, I don't know where else, is a free download on the 3DS and the Nintendo shop until tomorrow. So
really,
I think tomorrow's the last day, so download it. Get on there right now and download it. It's free.
I'm going.
There we go. And everyone else who hasn't done it, do it.
Michael Burhan can't do it because Michael Burhan lives in the United Kingdom, which is in Europe. And Nintendo decided they don't want to send it to the United Kingdom.
They don't like
wrong.
you.
Michael Burhan's right.
They don't like you. Yo, Burhan,
they
did you
not.
get that free game, by the way?
No.
Dude, what tools?
They are. And they said to me that it was my problem, and they don't. They were saying it's catered towards new members.
Right.
Not people who have already registered.
Yeah, they're cocksuckers. On to my next piece of news. This is weird to me. They're re-releasing the Ouya. There's a new version of it. It's $130 instead of $100. It's all black. I guess it's available right now. It has 16 gigs of storage. And let's see. The new version of the console includes the latest firmware, the features boosted Wi-Fi, and a refined controller. So instead of the original $100 for the 8 gig Ouya, you can pay $130 for the 16 gig with the extra features that I just talked about.
Well, the original one is actually moddable, so what's the point of getting the 16 gig one if you can boost the features on the 8 gig one in the first place?
That's a good point. Hang on. No, I don't know.
Michael Burhan disapproves.
Yo, the first comment says the Ouya or the Wii U, which is a bigger waste of money?
Oh, ouch. Hello.
The Ouya, because the Wii U is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the Ouya doesn't have it is gaining in popularity, and I have seen some of the games they have available on that service. And by the way, I really want to try the Amazing Frog because that looks really fun. Wow, that's interesting. They're coming out with a $130 version. You said?
Yeah. And instead of being whatever color it is now, it's complete black. So. And apparently it has a refined controller.
I can dig that. That sounds pretty cool.
Michael Burhan has a refined controller. It's called his penis.
That is refined.
You shall not boo Michael Burhan. Michael Burhan is imbooable.
And I have, on top of that, I have one last piece of news on top of that, which is actually my favorite piece of news of the day. I love the fact that people are trolling on Eve, but this is a bigger troll. People are naming their Xbox Live accounts things like Xbox Sign Out and Xbox Bing and pretty much Xbox One commands. So I guess when people are trying to talk to these other people over Xbox Live, they're actually commanding their Xbox to do different shit. As in, like, sign out of their account or go search on Bing or things like that. So they're yelling these things to the other people, and their Xbox is reacting to it and doing shit, which I think is fucking hilarious.
As opposed to the 360, when you would yell at it, any voice command, and it would just switch itself off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Burhan approves of this trolling.
Oh, good. I do too. I think it's my favorite thing of the night because that's something I never even thought of, but luckily these other people did because it's fucking hilarious.
I want to see that.
Michael Burhan is having a belly laugh.
Oh, man. Oh, did you have anything else, Zach?
No, that was it. That's all I had.
All right, so I guess
Michael Burhan has some news.
Does Michael Burhan have news?
Yes, Michael Burhan has some news about the Xbox One. Apparently, it's been rumored that they'll be releasing an Xbox One which doesn't have an optical drive, which means that Microsoft will be releasing a system that is completely and utterly online reliant.
Here we go again.
You know, I thought you were going to say one that doesn't have the Kinect, and yet no.
I was hoping for that.
Without the optical drive, Michael Burhan disapproves.
Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. I mean, the optical drives haven't even worked before, but yeah.
And apparently, from what I understand, this system is going to be white, from what I know.
And $100 cheaper.
Aren't they paying people to switch over from their PS4 to the X1 and paying them $100?
Yeah, so
that's for the PS3. Yeah.
If you could trade in your PS3, get an Xbox One without an optical drive and without a Kinect, could you get it for $200?
I think that'd be about $300.
No, it'd be $200 because if it's $100 less for no optical drive and $100 less for no Kinect, and you're getting $100 for the PS3, it'd be $300 off $500.
Yeah. Would you want it though?
I mean, I still want it, but I'm just saying, are they offering that?
Yes.
Fuck you, Burhan. You don't even know shit. You don't know
but if it's digital only, wouldn't you have to pay for your hard drive?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The hard drive.
It would have to have a
1 terabyte hard drive. Think about that. A 1 terabyte hard drive, diskless, and it's $100 less than the standard Xbox One.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also. yet also Microsoft is saying that if you give them your PS3, they'll take $100 off the purchase of your Xbox One. There's got to be some. I mean, that's just. I don't understand.
That's a slap in the face.
It is a total slap in the face.
Michael, the fact is, there's one thing going after your competitor, there's another thing trying to take away a console by offering people, which pretty much is a little incentive. It's ridiculous. It's a shot in the mouth. They don't need to do it. You know, I know a lot of people are saying, well, it's for the Xbox 360 as well. If Michael Burhan got offered something like that in terms of incentive, Michael Burhan probably would just not take him up on it.
I wouldn't either. That's just, I don't understand. I just can't. I just don't even have the words to express how unbelievably ridiculous this is.
But again, most people will just sit there and say to you that it's fine and, you know, no one should have a problem from it. Michael Burhan has a problem because it's black hat marketing, which means it's marketing done in a very negative way, and it produces negative situations for the company who doesn't seem to learn their lesson.
But don't they already have negative issues with the fact that there's talk about they were paying people to give positive reviews? By paying somebody to turn in a console for another console, you're just still paying people off either way.
Well, if you saw the story about it, they actually said that Machinima were the ones responsible for that. But Machinima was telling people that it was Microsoft who was responsible for that, then changed their story and said it was down to the YouTubers. It was like, well, the YouTubers are the ones that did it. You know, we just offered the incentive and they took it, which is ridiculous.
That's so fucking scummy. It's like, oh, we offered them $100 to do this, but they did it. Okay. If you didn't offer, no one would be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know, you can't blame people for being greedy.
Yeah.
But Michael Burhan doesn't approve of any of this.
Yeah.
As far as Michael Burhan is concerned, people need to do things the right way. This is the reason why journalism, or video game journalism, is in the shitter.
Yeah. No, I agree. And well, no, as far as the trading in the PS3, Alpha Omega Sin said you can trade in either a 360 or a PS3. So I feel like so I think like they made the 360. They put it in there just so they could accept the PS3. And, you know, it's not the same as offering money to someone for a positive review because you're literally paying them for their hardware that they bought instead of you paying them for their opinion on the internet. So I have no problem with them buying the PS3. But, I mean, I 100% have a problem with them, you know, paying for reviews. But, yeah, I don't have a problem with them paying for the PS3, whatever. I mean, they're equally paying for the Xbox 360, so whatever. It's their money. They can pay whatever they want.
You know, Michael Burhan's in Brixton, passing Brixton Academy. Michael Burhan likes Brixton Academy. Even though Brixton's full of crack addicts, still.
Wow. Oh, jeez. Burhan, do you have anything else?
Yes, Michael Burhan has loads of news because Michael Burhan is the internet.
Yeah, the gay part of the gay porn internet.
Oh. Wow.
Michael Burhan only did gay porn once, and that was with Zack Latour. And
Only once.
Getting your nerd on.
We said we weren't going to talk about that. People
People
aren't ready
Michael
for
Burhan was the one who set up the camera. Now, another little bit of news currently going on at the moment in terms of gaming and gaming stuff is that the PS4 is going to be backwards compatible with an update, but it's only by emulation.
Okay.
So you can put in your PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 discs into the system and it will play those games. It won't play them straight. It would play them via an emulator app in the console.
That's okay.
But at least that shows that someone, Sony mainly, are actually listening. Dan, we need a Dr. Fraser Crane quote somewhere. I'm listening, Seattle. But Michael Burhan approves of this, and Michael Burhan feels that Sony are doing things the right way. So Sony, you have Michael Burhan's utmost thanks and gratitude.
Oh. I feel so good right now. Oh my god.
Did you just like release a load in your pants, Travis?
A few times. Because
Michael Burhan is disgusted and aroused at the same time.
Oh no, but this is great news because A, I have a huge collection of PS2 games I want to play again because I'm going through some serious Grand Theft Auto withdrawals.
Michael Burhan has a serious boner. He has a huge one that he'd like to play with again and again.
And
because he also has some Grand Theft Auto issues.
But this is just such good news. I mean, Sony.
Are they going to offer PSP games as well, or
PSP games?
What it says at the moment is that you can play PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games emulated. In terms of PS Vita games or PSP games, you can actually play them via the Gaikai app, Michael Burhan believes.
This is why I love
PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games will not be streamed. You can play them straight from your disc. And yes, Travis, Michael Burhan loves Sony too.
Oh, man. I was having a bad day. Now I'm having a great day.
Zach, what about you? What do you think of this?
I think it's awesome, but I don't quite understand the okay, so you're saying you put a disc in, and then
Correct.
What happens?
It will emulate the PS2 and the PS1 via its own update, which is basically installed into the system. So you have an app that will play these games straight from disk, but it won't be in the same clarity as, say, if you had the system that's hardware would actually switch over.
Okay.
Like, here's a for instance. The Wii plays GameCube games, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't emulate the GameCube. What it does, it switches over to a GameCube lens.
Right.
And reads the discs.
Okay.
What this will do, it won't actually switch the lens over on the PS4 to read PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games. It will use an emulation on the system that will allow it to read those discs and play them, but it won't play them in the same format that those discs were read before. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like having a Mammy emulator on your PC and playing Mammy games straight off of the disc.
Okay, yeah.
That's still very good news. I mean, for one thing, that's better than nothing. And like I said, if I can play GTA Vice City again, that's awesome right there.
Is there a reason that it's not doing PS3 games?
Because PS3 games are all going to be streamed via their Gaikai platform.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be able to sit there on the crapper and play on your PS Vita or even play on your smartphone. Imagine playing Last of Us while you're on the toilet. I know for one thing that Zack Latour would probably end up in a situation where he'll just be stuck in the toilet all day.
Dude, I have.
With a big red ring around his ass.
I have. I've gotten the red ring before.
Michael Burhan approves of this because Michael Burhan is a toilet gamer.
Oh, good.
Oh, man. Okay. Anyways, to wrap that up, Sony. Man, dude, give me a big ass heart. That is cool. Thank you.
Michael Burhan agrees that is cool. And Sony, if you keep being sexy like that and teasing me with all these great, amazing things, then you may get some Michael Burhan later. Stay sexy.
You stay sexy, Sony. Okay, yeah, what else you got there, Michael?
Michael Burhan also has news about Nintendo, but rather negative news. Apparently, Wii U has been pulled off of certain online shops, including Best Buy.
Ouch!
Name a few. So that means the console itself is actually being set back into the Stone Age and sorts, and that certain platforms will no longer actually sell the console. Nintendo's not worried, however, because the majority of staff at Nintendo Japan have taken a pay cut. And I believe it could be anything up to 30% pay cuts, because they believe that they dishonored the company and they wanted to have a chance to do things right. Michael Burhan approves of this. Yes, they did.
First of all,
Mr. Iwata and also, I believe Michael Burhan's one is Mr. Miyamoto. Yes, Michael Burhan is correct. Michael Burhan's never wrong. It's Miyamoto and Iwata have both taken up to 30% chunks off of their pay in order to make things right.
Did they do that with the 3DS when it first came out?
They did. They did that, and Iwata did the same thing. He halved his salary at that time. They also made a huge price drop for that system, and also they had like this ambassador program where early adopters got all these like 20 free games. Which I
Yes, that's from the 3DS. Yeah.
But at the same time, and of course since then they've also been throwing out some really great games. So the 3DS is doing great now. But for the Wii U, first of all, I highly doubt they're going to have an ambassador program right now.
Most don't know this, but the 3DS is actually outselling the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One in terms of sales. And Michael Burhan likes this.
I like this too. But the thing is with the Wii U, first of all, when you just told me that story, how the systems are being pulled from the online stores, first of all, ouch, that really hurts. And second of all, Nintendo, you have got to come up with something quick, because either you do something to get the system selling and start getting more games out and start reaching out to more of these third-party developers, or, I hate to say this, and this is all over the internet, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Dreamcast 2.0.
Michael Burhan disagrees, because Nintendo are actually looking at getting their platforms over to third-party developers. So what they're doing is they'll give you a character, say like Mario or so forth, and they will let you basically make a game based around that character, but only on the Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS.
Okay.
Nintendo are doing their thing in terms of that. Michael Burhan approves of that, but he feels that Nintendo needs to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And a lot more meaning that they need a proper online platform for their games in terms of servers and stuff. Nintendo basically needs to put an online implementation so that they can actually play games via their online services, and also have dedicated servers so people can play multiplayer across all different platforms. Nintendo have yet to actually do anything in regards to that, and all they have is allow you to play online games such as Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros., which we all know how that turned out on the Wii. If Nintendo actually had that, then it'll probably make things a lot more easier. But in worse news, Michael Burhan has something else to report, that Warner Brothers are not going to be releasing any DLC for Batman Arkham Origins on the Wii U. The DLC itself, it's only going to be released on the 360 and PS3.
Ouch.
So, Michael Burhan thinks that Nintendo needs to get their fingers out of their asses and actually implement a proper online platform. Once they've done that, they need to get third-party developers to stop shooting themselves in the foot, such as what Warner has done, because they wouldn't allow... The reason why they're cutting this DLC is because they said that the system itself wasn't selling that great in terms of Arkham Origins as the 360 and PS3 brethren were. Now, reason being here is that they totally cut off the multiplayer online platform. So if you have the 360 and PS3 versions as opposed to the Wii U version, which one are you going to choose? I'm not going to buy it for the Wii U if it doesn't have everything that the 360 and PlayStation 3 versions have. So Michael Burhan disapproves of this. Michael Burhan thinks that Warner needs to really think about what they're doing.
That hurt. I mean, they're also like doing a refund to anybody who bought the future DLC packs and all that stuff. So that's good that Warner Brothers is doing that. But wow. First of all, I'm never going to give up on the Wii U. I love this thing. I fucking love it. And
well, there is some positive news on it as well. If you check out in regards to the Wii U's eShop, they will be releasing DS games on the Wii U system, so you can actually play them using the tablet controller.
That is awesome. Now, here's the thing. I actually saw some pictures of this, and I'm sure they're just mock-ups. But are they just going to act like DS games where the touchscreen is going to be on the touchscreen and everything else is on your TV?
Correct.
Okay. That's good.
Michael Burhan wants to play Phoenix Wright Justice for All on his Wii U. And Michael Burhan will. And it's sexy.
Yeah, but they have DLC for that as well.
You can actually download those Ace Attorney games from the WiiWare shop. From WiiWare and the Wii.
But Michael Burhan is actually hoping that there's no weird borders on this one.
That's true. Can you imagine if they actually released Brain Age for, or Brain Cat, Brain Age for onto the Wii U eShop?
Michael Burhan would approve of that, because Michael Burhan's brain is getting rather old.
Mine too. I'm starting to forget things.
Michael Burhan has a brain age of 46. Michael Burhan needs to improve.
It's funny, when I first played Brain Age, I started out age 42, and I was like 27 at the time I first tried it. It was sad.
Michael Burhan is out in the streets of Camberwell, busting crime, because Michael Burhan knows that he can multitask. Whilst on the phone, Michael Burhan will now hunt down criminals, because most people don't know that Michael Burhan is actually Batman.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, jeez. But anyways...
Michael Burhan has his own butler named Alfred.
Is that your penis?
Michael Burhan's penis is too big to be contained under one name. It actually splits itself into 4.
Okay.
Michael Burhan's penis is nicknamed Margin Boo.
Interesting. So I want to go on a bit more about this whole thing with Nintendo. I did actually find an article online. It's from Forbes. And there is some good news that Nintendo has announced at the latest press event. Mario Kart is being released in May. There's no firm date, but fans will be happy to hear about this, of course. And
Michael Burhan is extremely happy because Michael Burhan loves Mario Kart.
I'm like the king of Mario Kart. I cannot be beaten.
Michael Burhan has completed every single version of Mario Kart.
As have I.
And Michael Burhan cannot be beat. Because Michael Burhan is Michael Burhan, which translated is King Awesome.
Okay. And the future games will put more on a priority on the gamepad, which is great news because most of the games on the Wii U you can play on the pad itself without having the TV turned on, which is kind of, it was kind of cool at the beginning, but I was hoping they would get more games out where you could do some things on the gamepad, but all the action is still on the TV set. So that's great.
Michael Burhan appreciates this.
I do appreciate
Michael Burhan thinks it's good and it's enjoyable. And it also saves battery life. Michael Burhan wished they gave us the new, more expensive battery for free. Michael Burhan would be happy.
There is something that you can buy a new battery for it now. I think it's like only, I'm not sure how how it translates to English pounds, but here in this country, for $35 you can actually purchase a new battery for your Wii U gamepad, and it'll expand it up to 8 hours.
In the UK, that's actually £25.
That's not bad then.
Michael Burhan approves.
Right. And let's see here. Iwata says that in the future their handheld and home console systems will function more like others than they do now. But he is not yet sure if that would be directly combined in some specific way. The first step of this Brothers philosophy is a new on-demand service tied to a player's Nintendo ID account, not their hardware. Awesome. And as you just touched on, the DS Virtual Console is heading to the Wii U, but we don't know just yet.
Is that a patch?
Yeah, I think a patch, that would do. But you know what I'm still waiting for, and I know this is absolutely redundant at this point. I'm still waiting for freaking Star Fox Virtual Console. At this point, as powerful as the Wii is, they can do it.
Michael Burhan wants to see more first-party titles for the Wii U.
Okay.
Because Michael Burhan thinks that Nintendo needs to do a lot more with their franchises. Michael Burhan likes the idea that they've actually licensed the characters out to other developers because it means 4 more titles with Mario and all the other characters.
By the way, that would be interesting since now Nintendo's going to be working with third-party developers to help develop games for them. And have it be super kick-ass.
Could we see another Mario RPG from Square?
I don't think that's going to happen. There are other Mario RPGs like Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi and stuff. I doubt you're going to see another one like that.
Yeah.
That's like a one-time.
Michael Burhan hopes.
Yeah, I do too, but I just think that's a one-time thing. I think Square got really butthurt over the way like Nintendo like treated them, I think, and I just don't think it's going to happen again. I mean, that game was a pretty big success, at least in the fact that so many people love it. So I think like if there was any hope of Square doing it again, they would have already done it. And the fact that they haven't is the reason where Nintendo originally went to Paper Mario.
I mean, I see your point, because I actually got Super Mario RPG. That's a great game. I loved it, and I loved it when it first came out. I do see what Burhan is saying. I would like to see another Mario RPG done in that game. Of course, it's not with Squaresoft anymore, because they're now Square Enix, and they're having problems with their own right now, and they're only working with, like, Sony and Microsoft at this point. But anyways, I would love to see, like, maybe even Retro Studios. They could develop a new Mario RPG game. That would be pretty cool.
Who?
Retro Studios.
What'd they do?
Donkey Kong Country Returns, and they also...
No, man. I mean, okay, here's the thing. Like, there's a difference between Square then and Square now, but it's like, sometimes things are just lost in, they're just lost in the ether, and that's one of the things. It's gone. Square in the 90s is not Square now, and, Nintendo can make a Mario RPG with whoever the fuck they want, but if you think it's going to be like it was back then, it won't be. I mean, they could emulate it to the, nth degree, but it will never be what it was, and that's the point. It's like, it can never be what it was. It will always be something different, and so you have something like Mario RPG, you have Paper Mario, you have Mario and Luigi, Superstar Saga, Dream Team, Partners in Time, those games. Those are three separate series, and the whole idea of Mario RPG, and if they got another company, it's just going to have a fourth, installment. It's never going to be the sequel to Mario RPG. It won't be.
Michael Burhan doesn't like the look of the new RoboCop. Michael Burhan sees the poster, and he has one hand that looks fleshy.
That was random, but okay. But I mean, okay, Zach.
It's actually a PG-13. Actually, just satisfies Michael Burhan.
But anyways, Zach, I do totally agree with what you're saying. I do. And then Mario RPG is just that one game that, it's just a wonderful collaboration between the two companies, and I personally like to see that collaboration again. Highly unlikely at this point, but I do agree that Mario RPG definitely was the one and only RPG game that, I haven't played the other, like, Mario and Luigi games, or I played, like, a couple of Paper Mario games, but honestly, none of them will ever hold a candle to Super Mario RPG.
Well,
Michael Burhan believes that Super Mario RPG is like when Square Enix and Nintendo made Sweet Sweet Love.
No, it is. But, like, Mario RPG is really good, and it's one of my favorite games, but, as far as it comparing to, like, Final Fantasy VI, I don't think it compares at all. I think
it's definitely not.
Better.
No.
But, like...
It's in a league of its own.
Yeah, but, like Paper Mario, the first one, which is the only one I've beaten, I just actually got a couple pickups ago, I got the Wii one, which I'm going to play. But I've beaten the one for N64, and I really liked it, but I didn't like it. I felt like the one for Super Nintendo was a little short, but I felt the one for N64 was a little too long, and I loved Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I think Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga was even better than Paper Mario, but I don't think as good as Mario RPG. So
agree.
Mario RPG probably is the best of the idea, but unfortunately it's not going to happen again. Just like, it's like before Square tries to go and make another Mario RPG, maybe they should fix their fucking Final Fantasy series. Maybe they should fucking re-put out every Final Fantasy VII, re-put it the fuck out in fucking HD graphics that everybody wants. Final Fantasy VIII, in my opinion, is complete dog shit. Put out Final Fantasy IX and kick-ass HD stuff. Not this other bullshit that nobody cares about. Who the fuck cares about Final Fantasy 13-2? Who the hell even cared about Final Fantasy 13? No one cares about Final Fantasy 13-2. Who the hell even cared about Final Fantasy 13? I'm sorry, I said that wrong again. Who the hell even cares about Final Fantasy 13-3? No one even gave a shit about Final Fantasy 13-2. So it's like, fix your other shit and then come back and make other things right.
Yeah. But anyways, we're going to get more into Mario later on this episode, because that's what this episode is all about. I'm sure we're going to touch a little bit more about Super Mario RPG and any of those side games that weren't part of the canon of the Mario collection. But anyways, let me go back on to what we're talking about in terms of Nintendo. Got some bad news that they did report. For instance, we've already talked about how you ought to have the salary and all that. But also, release dates for a ton of other titles this year are just simply right now 2014, including Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. There's no release date yet. And by the way, I'm still getting a little peeved that they keep saying, this character is going to be in the game, and this character is going to make an appearance. I want to be surprised. I don't care about the roster. I just,
Michael Burhan's next boss is 23 minutes time. Michael Burhan is not pleased.
And also, of course, no Wii U price cut. You would think that this would be a good step for Nintendo to try to regain some ground, but that's not in the cards at this point, guys. Sorry.
Well, the Wii U itself is actually kind of cheap anyway, so why? It's cheaper than the Xbox One and the PS4. Why does anybody want it cheaper?
Because when Nintendo and their systems have always been in the past, it's always been like $200 or maybe $250, but that's what the Wii retailed for when that first came out. And I don't know, maybe people are just like that upset that the game system's like $300, which I agree, that is actually pretty affordable, as opposed to getting an Xbox One, which is like $500, and then soon it's gonna be $400 with a discless system. But I don't know why people are so upset about the price. I think $300, that's a very fair price if you ask me.
It was even on sale the other day for $270 with a Wonderful 101 and Ninja Gaiden 3.
Yeah, what more do you guys want? I don't know. Some people are just fickle that way.
Well,
Michael Burhan remembers a time when the Mega Drive was worth like $400.
Yeah, well.
Well, that's Sega.
What do you mean that's
processing?
Huh?
What do you mean that's Sega?
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I love I love Genesis, and I would. That's just a system that will always bring back some memories. But really, $400 for a Sega Genesis back then.
Michael Burhan wants to hear what Xander has to say. Oh wait, Xander's not on the show. Michael Burhan wants to hear what Zack has to say.
Yeah, well, it's like, $300 is a fine price. Like I said the other day, it was like $270 with 2 games and some extra shit without, you're going to have to pay tax. It was a lot cheaper, but I don't know, it's like, everyone likes things even fucking cheaper, it gets to a point where it's like, you look at the PS3 where it took Sony like 5 years to even fucking break even on even making these things. And that's the thing. Like, people want it cheaper, but I don't want to see this so cheap at the point where like Nintendo almost goes bankrupt or has to do the same thing Sega is doing, where like only releasing games and arcade machines. And I've heard from people that like Sega's making like good money doing that, but I don't want to see the home console market only going to PlayStation and Microsoft. Like, I support the PlayStation. As you guys all know, I don't support fucking Microsoft or Xbox at all. But like, I still like Nintendo being in there, and I love the fact that they're supporting strictly games. So it's like all their systems are game consoles, and everything else after that. All these other things are fucking everything consoles and game consoles after that. So, yes.
Nintendo isn't the console that the world wants. Nintendo is the console that the world needs.
But I'm telling you, you're gonna see. It's like, you look at the GameCube, right? You look at GameCube fucking 10 years ago or 12 years ago or whatever, when it was like, people weren't necessarily buying things. You look at GameCube games now, they're fucking more expensive than Xbox, PS2, and some Dreamcast games. Like, they're getting pretty expensive because people realize what they missed out on. If this doesn't pick up steam, it's going to be the exact same thing again, where it's like people might not buy now, but I'm telling you, like 10 years down the line, they're going to be expensive.
Michael Burhan is continuously buying Wii U games because they've got them very cheap. So Michael Burhan's next pick is probably going to be Tekken Tag Tournament. So jot that down, people.
I'm thinking about getting that too. I do like that's one game series I've always loved on the PlayStation was the Tekken series, and I want to check this out. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 sounds really awesome. Plus, also you can customize the characters to look like Mario characters and everything. Nice.
Michael Burhan is pleased with the fact that you can make all those characters look like Mario characters.
Very much so. And before we get going here, one other thing I like to touch on more Nintendo news. So, okay, of course, we've already talked about how Wad is talking about some third-party developers doing things with their characters. There was something else here I was going to read. That was pretty much it. Okay, that actually exhausted that story. Do we have a song for break this week or what?
Do you mean for the theme?
Yeah.
Use any of the theme songs, like the Quinea, the Zelda.
All right. So I'll tell you what, guys. We're going to go ahead and take this little bit of a break. And while we do so, you guys go ahead and check out some really good tune skis. And we'll be back here in a couple of minutes. So please.
If you don't tune in for Travis, tune in for Michael Burhan. Hello. Can I have a Zinger's Tower Burger, please?
Okay,
no, just one time.
Okay, I'm still searching for the song. Gosh, oh, here we go. Anyways, we're going to get some songs going here, and then we're going to be back, and it's going to be all about Mario. So stay tuned. And welcome back to I Got Gameplay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the featured topic of the week, and that is none other than... That was weak. Sorry. It's all about Mario. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. One of the coolest plumbers to have ever graced the video game screens in the history of ever. It's all about him this week. Just to give you a bit of a backstory, Mario is a fictional character in the Mario video game franchise by Nintendo, created by Japanese video game designer Shigeru Miyamoto. Serving as Nintendo's mascot and the opponent's protagonist of the series, Mario has appeared in over 200 video games since its creation. Depicted as a short, pudgy Italian plumber who resides in the Mushroom Kingdom, he repeatedly rescues Princess Peach from the Koopa villain Bowser and stops his numerous plans to destroy him and take over the kingdom. Of course! Mario also has other engines and and Wario. Mario outside the Super sports such as golf, Mario. He has inspired television shows, film, I should say. There was only one film. Comics and the line of licensed merchandise. And since 1995, he has been voiced by Charles Martinet, who first got the role in 1990. So, here's the thing about Mario that I believe. Mario, when the first Mario, he was actually known as Jumpman in the 1981 arcade game Donkey Kong. And
Michael Burhan actually states that was actually fictitious, and he was never actually known as Jumpman. It was just speculated that he was.
Well, that's interesting. But we can continue on from there. Donkey Kong first came into fruition on July 9th, 1980. That has a pet name. He kidnaps his girlfriend, originally known as Lady, but later named Orange. The player must take the role of Jumpman and rescue the girl. The character was named after Mario in the 1982 arcade game Donkey Kong. He is ever portrayed as an antagonist. In the 1983 arcade game Mario Brothers, Mario and his younger brother Peach are as Italian-American plumbers who have to defeat creatures that have been coming from the sewers below New York. The surname was Mario, called him Mario's first name, being given here as Mario, which I find kind of interesting.
And actually, in the game, video game, plumbers don't wear ties. That was actually a play on Mario. Actually, it wasn't. But Michael Burhan wants to make it factual. So whatever Michael Burhan says should be fact.
So I guess in a way, it kind of makes sense where, for one thing, where on the TV series, the cartoon series, that they got the idea that these were Italian-American plumbers living in New York, and they got stuck down a pipe and ended up in the Mushroom Kingdom. So I guess, and of course, because of that TV series, you got that wonderful 1993 movie. That's anybody. Anybody there?
Yo, we can't hear you, man. You gotta mute Burhan, man. The fucking street fucking shit's too loud.
All right. Just hold on. I don't know how to mute. I've never done this before.
Michael Burhan has muted himself.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Burhan. Thank you. But anyways, I was talking about the Donkey Kong games, and then I was talking about Mario Brothers, the 1983 game, where they actually gave the characters more of a story that they're Italian-American plumbers living in New York. Right. And I said how that was how the Super Mario Brothers Super Show and the movie Super Mario Brothers actually drew the background story from that arcade game. And I was just asking what everybody's thoughts about either the Mario Brothers game or the Donkey Kong series.
Well, I mean, I've never even seen the movie with John Leguizamo, so I really haven't seen any of the movies yet.
It's funny though.
The movie is hilarious. They've called them Mario and Luigi Mario. What the hell?
That's the point I was making, because in the I was reading the description of the Mario Bros. Video game.
Right.
It says, let me bring it back up here. Mario and his younger brother Luigi are portrayed as Italian-American plumbers who have to defeat creatures that have been coming from the sewers below New York.
Right.
Their surname was Mario, resulting in Mario's full name being first given here as Mario.
Right.
Yeah. And then they kind of segue into Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and we all know how this game works. Mario saves Princess Toadstool, later known as Princess Peach, of the Mushroom Kingdom from King Koopa. And to save Princess Toadstool, Mario conquers the 8 worlds of the Mushroom Kingdom by going to the castle in each to defeat of minion of King Koopa. To reach each castle, Mario battles through 3 sub...
Michael Burhan just wants to know one thing.
Yeah?
How did Mario get into the Mushroom Kingdom? Michael Burhan never knew how that happened. Michael Burhan wants answers. And Michael Burhan wants them now.
To answer that question, go ask Deke Entertainment, because they gave a nice little story as to how that happened. Moving on. But anyways, we all know how Super Mario Brothers, that game worked and everything. And really, it was in 1985, Nintendo was trying to release their console in Japan, known as the Famicom. They were trying to get into the video game market here in the United States, but at the time we were still going through the whole thing with the video game crash of '83 and all that was going on, and Atari was, of course, the root of it, and they were trying to see if they can get their system here in the country. And Atari was going to work with them, but that actually did not work out, so Nintendo took a big risk by releasing the Nintendo Entertainment System here in this country. And then
it wasn't just the Atari, it was also the ColecoVision and the Intellivision, and there's so many, I've got loads of different consoles of the same market vision.
Good point. Okay, that's actually very true. But and also that because of the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Mario Brothers, which became the most popular video game on that system, that single-handedly saved the video game industry. Thoughts, anybody?
Michael Burhan agrees with this statement, and Michael Burhan believes that Mario was actually modeled over Michael Burhan, even though Michael Burhan wasn't born at the time.
Okay. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think, well, I know for a fact that when Nintendo was coming out, I think one of the first things they released was the Nintendo console, the NES, with Rob the Robot, so they could promote it as something more than a video game system. They could promote it as whatever, I forget the term, but they also called themselves the system, the Nintendo Entertainment System. So they were kind of straying away from the idea of like video game system or video game consoles, things like that. And the way they did their things was really good. And I was going to say right before Burhan said something, I was going to say something that it's not just Atari's fault. There were so many people jumping on this fucking bandwagon of video games and just putting out shit to put out shit that it killed it. It's like think of right now if there was like fucking 20 systems. Like, how the hell would you even know what's good for what and what system's the best? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to sort through them all in every game. You wouldn't be able to do that. So, it was all kinds of shit that crashed it. But Nintendo did things correctly, and I think that whoever they had, in America for this type of stuff, I know there's like documentaries that have like the people who worked on their arcade machines and that kind of stuff, but they did a great job with it, and they really tried to separate themselves from just like trash that was coming out just to come out, and they did a great job of it. And I mean, they deserve what they have because they did such a good job with it.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
In terms of like Nintendo saving the video game industry,
that and of course them taking a risk of releasing the Nintendo Entertainment System in this country, and also having Super Mario Brothers available.
In terms of them like saving the video game industry, I mean, I kind of think that it's a given that any type of new technology can potentially either be harmful or helpful, and I think they did take a risk by releasing it, especially when they have, like you guys mentioned, you had so many different consoles that were out at that time. But the innovation, I think, is what really helped out, because I've played old Atari games and they were crap. Sorry for those who played them originally, compared to what the graphics were when Mario came out.
That's true. I mean, of course, the Atari 2600, that was an 8-bit system. But yeah, that was the graphics on the thing were terrible, and they released like so many crappy games. It was not just them. Activision was also guilty of releasing crappy games onto that system as well, and on television.
Well, Michael Burhan can say though, the ColecoVision and the Atari adapter. Come on, you stole from someone else by putting an adapter on your fucking system.
Well,
that's either pure genius or that's fucking lame.
Well, keep this in mind. Coleco was also making games for the Atari 2600. They were another third-party developer. So, but that's in the past and everything, and that's on a subject for another time. But going back to Mario here, after the release of the Super Mario Brothers video game, in Japan they released a sequel, and what we know here in this country and elsewhere is Super Mario Brothers 2 for everybody else outside Japan was released on the Super Mario All-Stars compilation game. We had Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels. Now, that game, it's just a continuation of the first game, only they've redesigned all the levels and made them super challenging. And instead of it being a two-player game, you play as either Mario or Luigi, and each of them controlled differently. And the only reason why that game was not released here in the States is because it was extremely tough. And it is a complicated game, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun. But instead of us getting that game in this country, we had to wait just a few years for them to give us what some consider to be a game, but it's still a Mario game. I still love it to death. We had Super Mario Brothers 2 that was released in 1998. Totally, completely different game. Instead of jumping on Koopa shells, you're throwing vegetables at an enemy, shy guys full of bills.
Michael Burhan remembers Doki Doki Panic. And Michael Burhan disapproved. That's
the thing, because, we all know the story that the Super Mario Brothers 2 we got here in the country and in England and everywhere else, it was a reskinned version of Toki Toki Panic. But I still really like this game. It's a lot of fun. Nick, what did you think of this game?
That one I didn't play. The first Mario game that I remember playing is actually in the arcade when the first one was released. But I kind of think it's interesting how much so many games that are released in Japan never come over here, or when they do, they're retitled for the American audience.
That's very true. And Zach?
Basically, Japan sees America as retards.
That could be, but I've seen some of the games that come out in Japan only. Those games are extremely tough to play. And I don't know if it's the culture or if they are a little bit smarter than us. I don't know what it is, but yeah, interesting. Zach, what do you think?
Yep. I've only played The Lost Levels a couple times. I really hadn't. I just got All Stars again, and I haven't really played it, but I remember I rented a couple times back then. But I like Mario 2. It was one of my favorites for a while. Once I eventually beat it and I saw the dumbass ending that it was kind of annoying. But I do like that everyone controls differently. I like the game, and it's probably because I've never played the other one that it came from. But I like it, and I need to play more of the Lost Levels. I know what I remember. It's just like a second take of the first one, just more difficult, and there's random shit floating around and that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, it's intense. I love that game quite a bit. Burhan.
All we can use it to play the game is it Nintendo or is it a crack whore?
Yeah. It's a good
Michael
game.
Burhan believes that it's a crack whore.
Yeah, it's crack.
Michael Burhan enjoyed the game to a certain extent, but then when Michael Burhan saw the ending, Michael Burhan wanted to jizz in Mario's face, hit him with a shovel.
A little extreme.
That's
but okay.
That's a common feeling.
And also, in fact, is when Michael Burhan was born, Nintendo had to find a new level of hard. Hence the reason why they never released the actual Mario Brothers 2 in the UK, because they knew that Michael Burhan would make Japanese people look dumb.
Yes. This is written into law.
Oh man. But no, I've actually completed the Lost Levels, and it's a challenge. It's an endurance battle. That's what it is. But it's a lot of fun, even though you still get the same old. Thank you, Mario. What if Princess is in another castle? It's at that point I didn't care. To me it was a new game.
When someone said to Michael Burhan that the princess was in another castle, Michael Burhan went to White Castle and had loads of burgers.
Oh,
because Michael Burhan can do that. It's sustenance.
Oh.
Michael Burhan then got high with some Asian dude because Michael Burhan does that.
And you were also hanging out with Neil Patrick Harris.
Michael Burhan is Neil Patrick Harris, but straight.
Okay, good point. But anyways, but the American or the other version of Super Mario Bros. 2 that we got, yeah, that was a stupid ending. That was dumb as hell. So we're going to go on from there and talk about an actual sequel to
Are we going to talk about the actual movie that featured this sequel?
We're not going to talk about The Wizard because that was kind of a stupid idea, but whatever. But
Michael Burhan loves The Wizard. You should not besmirch the good name of The Wizard in front of Michael Burhan.
It was a 9-minute Nintendo commercial. Might have been cool then. To me, But nostalgia purposes, it's alright. Anyways, we're going to talk about the game that was featured in The Wizard as the grand finale. We're talking about Super Mario Bros. 3. And this game totally...
Michael Burhan remembered in The Wizard that Lucas asked for ladies to play with his Power Glove.
Yes. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. And I mean bad. Quoting AVG in there. Because I've tried the Power Glove, and that was just a terrible, terrible device. I could not get that thing to work. But anyways, Mario 3. Mario's quest is to once again save not only Princess Peach, but also the 7 rulers of the different kingdoms from Mario and his children, the Koopalings. And Mario travels across 8 worlds to restore order to the Mushroom World and to rescue Princess Peach. Mario is introduced to new power-ups that augment his abilities, including the Tanuki suit, the frog suit, and of course the leaf, which turns him into kind of a raccoon with a tail and ears and everything. And that game was such a big deal back in that day and in fact, it was such a big deal that Nintendo never shows any footage of the game when they're trying to promote the video game on TV. There's all these people yelling, Mario, Mario, and then you zoom out and on Earth is this giant picture of Mario's face. That hardcore. That was amazing. But Mario 3 is actually, of all the Mario games that have ever been released, this one is my personal favorite. Let's see. We're going to go to Burhan. What do you think of Mario 3?
I think he's gone.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I'll get him back in. Sorry about that, guys. Zach, why don't you take over?
I like Mario 3 a lot. It's very, very innovative. When I still play like NES and Super Nintendo games, there's certain things where I feel games were so far ahead of their time. I mean, even looking back now, F-Zero is a big one, which I won't get into because I could talk for fucking hours about how F-Zero is so far ahead of its time. But Super Mario Brothers 3 really was. So it had these huge maps. It had 8 worlds. And I remember there was these secrets, like in the second world, I remember if you went all the way to the right, you could use like this hammer on this one block and open this whole other section to this one spot. I remember the pond was in the shape of like a Roman numeral 3. And that's something that like, that like I never knew about when I first got it and I played it. I think my dad brought it home from a tag sale or whatever, and I played it and I had beat it, and I don't know even how I even found out about that, whether a friend showed me or I saw Nintendo Power or whatever, but that's something I never discovered on my own, and I just feel like that game had so much hidden shit where it's like, the replayability was so high because you could find so much hidden stuff, like the warp whistles, that kind of stuff, that was hidden, something like ducking behind that white block in the third level or whichever one it was. Just like finding the coin ship. There was so much hidden stuff in that game. Even finding the Tanuki suit, or getting the frog suit. One big thing in that game to me that stood out as monumental was being able to save shit. You could flip that thing at the world map and you could pick something out of like your toolbox or whatever, And it was a really fun game, and it's always going to be one of my favorites. It's not my favorite Mario game, but it will always be one of my favorites, and it was very, very influential, and it was way before its time, and it was just a great game. I spent so many hours on that game, and I still play that game, probably once a year. I love that game. It's just really, really good.
It's amazing. Oh, by the way, before we continue, just want to say this. Anybody who's listened to the show wants to participate, give us a call at 718-664-9265, or you can find us at blogtalkradio.com. Search for I Got Gameplay since we're live. And if you want to participate, just click on that Skype button if you want to communicate with us through Skype. Going back into the show here, Nick, your thoughts on Mario 3?
My question is, where the heck did the Koopalings come from? Because Bowser's the only one you ever see. That's what I want to know.
It's something like the Huts, like they can become the female and birth them.
That's just a little creepy.
I don't want to think about that. Well, the only thing I can say is whenever people ask me that kind of a question, like, okay, first of all, like, it really, really irritates me when people call them turtle shells. And they're not. They're Koopa shells. Okay, they're Koopas. There's no turtles in your game. But in terms of, like, the Koopalings or any of those characters, all the thing I have to say is when someone asks me that question, it's like, well, why are they called Koopas and not turtles? And I always say, go ask Shigeru Miyamoto. That's the only thing I can think of.
The interesting thing about the whole Mario thing, you guys got me thinking was, I don't know if you guys have seen the YouTube channel. Have you ever heard of the Game Theorists?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It got me thinking about the whole deal about him jumping on the blocks that were supposed to be transformed. Members of the kingdom.
Yeah.
And it just makes me question the whole series at that point.
Well, it's kind of like they tell, like, if you had the manual, it would have told you that when you bought it. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
And absolutely. And I'm trying to get Michael back on, so sorry guys. He's probably just having some problems trying to get into a place where he has a strong signal, but we're going to carry on now. Yeah, Mario 3, I just love that game so much. I mean, I love it because, for one thing, it was like, I wouldn't say it's like an apology to anybody else, like outside the country, but it's saying like, well, yeah, I know you guys wanted the classic Mario game, but I'll tell you what, let's have a little bit of fun. Check this out. And they unleashed Super Mario Brothers 3. But what's interesting, Japan got Mario 3 in 1988. Okay, that was like 2 years after their Super Mario Brothers 2, the real Super Mario Brothers 2 came out. And interestingly enough, in 1988 is when we got our version of Super Mario Brothers 2. And in Japan, it was Super Mario Brothers 3. We didn't get Super Mario Brothers 3 in this country until 1990.
I think it's really, you have to look at localization first of all.
Well,
but
yeah.
not only that, but I mean, Mario, I think in Japan, from what I've heard from YouTubers who live over there, video games are really a big thing, and especially with Mario being a mascot, it's going to be something bigger over there, and they have to judge an American audience. I don't think, like when they didn't release the harder levels over here, I don't think they were thinking we were stupid or anything like that. I just think it's more that with there being a highly video game culture, there's just that difference where we don't get everything right away because they have to figure out, is it going to work in our country or is it something that might flop?
Oh, that's a good point. I totally understand that. But we're going to go on and talk about the next Mario game that's released. And this is actually a launch title for Nintendo's next system. It's the handheld that everybody has grown to know and love. It's known as the Game Boy. That was released, that was released in 1989, as well as the launch game for it, Super Mario Land. And in Super Mario Land, an alien named Tatanga appears, hypnotizes the inhabitants of an area called Sarasa Land, and kidnaps its ruler, Princess Daisy, which later becomes Luigi's girlfriend many, many years later. Mario then sets out to rescue her from Tatanga, traveling through 4 geographical areas of Sarasa Land and defeating Tatanga's minions along the way. He finally corners Tatanga in the skies of the Chai Kingdom, bringing down Tatanga's alien warship and rescuing Daisy. Okay, this game was, it is a hell of a lot of fun. It's different because it wasn't developed by Shigeru Miyamoto. So, I forgot who developed it. But anyways, it was interesting how you didn't exactly have fire flowers in this game, but you had this ability where you shot super balls at your enemies, which I thought that was pretty cool because you can even shoot coins and you get to collect them with the coins. But if you were to play this game from start to finish, the game is actually pretty short. It's only like 40 minutes. But it's still a heck of a lot of fun. Zach, what did you think of the game?
Super Mario Land?
Yeah.
I loved that game. You know, when we first got a Game Boy, we had Super Mario Land and we had Tetris. And Super Mario Land, you know, when you look back at that game today, it is so fucking primitive. It is insanely primitive. But it's a crazy fun game. That's the game where they introduced Daisy first, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that's the only game that ever made it so your fireball could collect coins, and I love that game. Are we talking about the first and second right now, or just the first?
So far, we're talking about the first one.
Okay.
I'm actually going to do the Mario games in chronological order as they're released, and it doesn't matter. We're just going to do it chronologically.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, and it's an amazing game. I mean, I could still, you know, one thing about like playing these games when they came out versus, you know, now, it's like I'm not so sure you could give Mario Land to a kid now and tell him how kick ass it is, and he would believe you. But like the game rules. It's a really good game. I remember just putting hours and hours and hours into that game. I've beaten that game multiple times, and I loved it. And you know, that was, you know, I think one perk of that game was that it was portable. And I loved it. It's one of my favorites. I don't know, it's like really primitive. It was not made by Miyamoto. No. Sorry, that's what you just said. And yeah, I don't know, it just kicked ass. I love the game. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nick, what you think of the game?
I've got it somewhere. I think it's within my Game Boy collection. And I've got either the first one or the second one, but if I don't have that one, I gotta get it because I love the old Game Boy games and definitely worth playing.
Yes, absolutely. It's amazing.
Yeah. If anybody out there who's listening to the show right now, if you have a 3DS, you can actually purchase Super Mario Land from the Virtual Console and through the eShop, and the game's like about $5.
Oh, I gotta do that.
It's $5 well spent. And also, by the way, just a little side note, there is a way you can actually, when you play the game, you can actually switch it to classic Game Boy mode, where you can get all those blurs and everything. So if you want to, like, if you're a retro fanatic and you actually like that style, that's so too. But continuing, the next game that was released was on yet another Nintendo system that was launched at the same time. This is actually the pack-in title for the Super Nintendo, released in 1991, and of course I'm talking about Super Mario World. And this game, it actually, instead of it being in the Mushroom Kingdom, it takes place in Dinosaur World, which is kind of interesting. Mario and Luigi take Princess Peach for a vacation in Dinosaur World sometime after the events of Mario 3. During the vacation, Peach is kidnapped by Bowser, big shocker. Mario and Luigi meet the Yoshis, dinosaurs that live in Dinosaur World, and they help rescue Peach by allowing Mario and Luigi to ride them. And this game, I said Mario 3 is my favorite game. This one is right up there with it because this game is super amazing. I mean, the graphics, for one thing, were a huge step up. There's more background scaling in some of the levels was pretty sweet, and it's very colorful. and the introduction of Yoshi, and you also have the feather capability. I mean, they didn't really have suits in this game like they did in the third one, but he has a feather cape, and that was just a lot of fun. I mean, once you learned how to fly in that thing, it was so cool as hell. But this game is still popular today. It's easily found on the Virtual Console for both the Wii and the Wii U, and it is a really, really cool game. Let's see here. Zach, what do you think of Mario World?
Okay, now Mario World is probably the game I've put the most time into in my entire life. When I was a kid, I had 3 Super Nintendo games. Actually, I'm sorry, it's probably the second game I put the most time into. When I was a kid, I only had 3 Super Nintendo games. I had Super Mario World, I had Indiana Jones for the Super Nintendo, and I had Turtles in Time. And Turtles in Time is the game I put the most time into. But Super Mario World, I put so much time. I beat it so many times. I've actually 100%, or I think you can the last save or whatever, you get like 99%, whatever it happens to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I love that game, and it's badass. It kicks ass. There's so much hidden stuff in that game. It's fun. There's so many different ways to go. I mean, you can speed run that game in it must be like 10 minutes or something, or 15 minutes, or it's something really short. But it's a great game. I love the enemies. I love everything. I talked about games that were so far ahead of their time, and like, that's a game that like you can still play today with no problems. It kicks ass. It was amazing. It's probably, besides Turtles in Time, it's probably my favorite Super Nintendo game, because I mean I love a lot of other ones, like something like Chrono Trigger, but there's no way I've put the same amount of time in and care as I did with Super Mario World as I did with a lot of other things. I love it. It's amazing. I love the introduction of Yoshi. I just love everything.
Yeah, it's a really great game, and actually if you find all the secrets, there's 96 stages in the game, or 97 different exits. And so if you find all 96 exits in the game, you get pretty much 100% of the game, which is still cool. Still very challenging, but it's still a lot of fun. Nick, what do you think of Mario World?
I sucked at that game, to be honest.
Oh.
I could not make it past the 3rd level. My ex actually had a copy of it, and I tried playing it over and over. Just could not get a hang of it, but it was really fun.
Yeah, very true. And the game is still a hell of a lot of fun today. And, oh, man. I mean, I can just pick up a controller, and it's one of those games that I can actually play with my eyes closed. Well, not literally, but you know what I mean. I still know every secret. I know everything I need to do. It's still a whole awesome game.
I smell Let's Call a review again. Or gameplay, rather.
I don't know. I see a lot of Let's Plays of Super Mario World. My favorite one is with Game Grumps. But I might in the future. Who knows? But going on to the next game that came out, this was going back to the Game Boy, and this is Super Mario Land 2, 6 Golden Coins, whose events take place immediately after the original Super Mario Land. Mario's evil counterpart, Wario, who actually makes his first appearance, has put an evil spell over Mario Land while Mario was away in Saracen Land, renaming the area Wario Land. The inhabitants are now brainwashed into thinking that Wario is their master and Mario is their enemy. Wario's motive behind this sudden attack was to take control over Mario's castle in order to have one of his own. To stop Wario, Mario must find the 6 golden coins throughout Mario Land and regain access to his castle. This game, I actually love this game because graphically it was a huge step up from Mario Land. It actually looked like it could have been on par with Super Mario World in terms of its graphics, and the gameplay was very solid. It was a longer game too. It was even challenging. I can't get the words out. It was much more challenging, and it also brought back the Fire Flower. So you're actually shooting fire flowers again. But there is a new ability in the game, and it was the rabbit ability. If you picked up a carrot, you could actually hover in the game, kind of like Princess Peach did in Mario 2. But this game was game was really awesome. I still love it today. Nick, what did you think of it?
You know, that's actually a game that I've been trying to hunt down for a good price, but every time I see it, it's like $25-$30, and I want to play it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, that also is available on the 3DS Virtual Console for $5.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to go to work and get a $20 eShop card.
Yeah, that's the great thing about having a 3DS is you have access to all these really awesome Game Boy games. Got Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and pretty soon GBA games will be available. They're still working on that.
And you can get the Lost Levels for $5 on there as well.
Yes, you can. Or wait, no, I better not say that. I'm not sure. You probably could, but I don't know.
You can. I'm looking at it right now.
On the 3DS, really. Anyways, Zach, what did you think of Mario Land 2?
You know what? 6 Golden Coins is one of my favorite games ever. When I was a kid, it's like I only got a few games per system, and normally it was kind of like I said, my dad would kind of go to a tag sale and kind of bring them home. But I remember when we had 6 Golden Coins, and 6 Golden Coins was the one game when I was a kid that I never beat. You know, I mean, I got all 6 coins, 100 fucking times, and I would go to Wario's castle, and I could never beat him. I don't know why. I was just I don't know. I couldn't beat him, but you know what? That game, as you talked about, that game is light years ahead of Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins is amazing. It has its own sub areas. It has 6 of them where you can go and you beat like the 4 or 5 levels or whatever. Some of them have a couple extra where you can go in different directions and stuff to get the coin, but game rules. It's one of the absolute best. I mean, it's that game I like more than so many other Mario games. It was just so good. It was so well put together. It's a fucking great game, and if you don't have it, just go buy it. Even if whatever 3DS store or whatever, go get it. The game rules. It kicks ass. It took up so much of my time as a kid, and I don't feel like it was wasted. It was just an amazing game. It's so good.
Absolutely true. And also to let everybody know in advance, there is also Super Mario Land 3, and it's called Wario Land. That's also on the eShop. Check it out. Thank me later. But
yeah, I didn't like that game nearly as much as I like 2.
Yeah. We'll get to that here in a moment, though. But the next game I want to talk about is a game that was very sought after for me. This game I loved. I've always loved renting this game when it came out in 1995. And I've been wanting my own copy of it, and I finally got one thanks to my awesome fiance. Hey, Courtney, what's up? And I'm talking about Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. In this game, a store carries Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, so this is kind of like a backstory, like a prequel, an origin story, if you will. Carries them across the sea, but the evil Magic Koopa Kamek steals Baby Luigi, and Baby Mario falls onto an island called Yoshi's Island, home to, what else? Yoshi's. Mario meets the Yoshis. The group journeys through the game in 6 worlds to rescue Baby Luigi and the sword from Baby Bowser and Kamek. This game blew my mind. I mean, Mario World and the Super NES blew my mind then, but this game really, really rocks. Because for one thing, it took advantage of a version of the Super FX microchip. For those of you who want to know what that is, just go look at Star Fox on the Super NES. They actually used that same chip to create some amazing worlds in this game and some very cool-looking enemies. And the bosses in this game were really awesome to look at. And it was just great. There's some secrets in the game. There's some puzzle solving. The game is just awesome. And I'm really disappointed that is not on the Virtual Console at all. But this game is so cool. But anyways, Nick, what did you think of Yoshi's Island?
I never got to play it, unfortunately.
Oh, you poor man. This game was also on the GBA. They released that as part of the Super Mario Advance series. It was the third one, I think. It was Super Mario Advance 3, Yoshi's Island, which I don't like that port because they put Yoshi's voice in the game, and that voice drives me absolutely crazy. I hate that. But the game is still a lot of fun. Zach, what did you think of Yoshi's Island?
It's funny that you mentioned it because, I have never got to play that game. And today, when I was at the thrift store, I actually found 2 copies of the Game Boy Advance one for me and Kyla, so we could both play it. And I haven't got to play it, yet. I've seen speedruns, and I love the artwork, and I love everything about it, but I haven't got to play it, so I can't really say, whatever about it.
It's interesting that you mentioned the artwork, because in the game, it's hand-drawn animation. I mean, you can see because it's got the outlines and all these different characters, and in the background, like the flowers and everything.
Yeah.
It was such a gorgeous, gorgeous game. And it's amazing you can see a game like that on the Super Nintendo back then. And
it's also a late release, but yeah.
A late release, yeah, because they actually knew how the technology worked on that system. And they threw out what is a classic in every sense of it. But speaking of really great games, we're going to jump into the next Mario game that was released. Actually, no. I'm going to back up a little bit. Before we get into the Nintendo 64 era, we're going to talk about something that happened previously to this, and we're going to talk a little bit about these Mario educational games. And I'm talking about Mario's Missing and Mario's Time Machine. Just touch on these briefly. I played Mario's Missing, and to tell you the truth, even though the game was supposed to teach you things, I felt dumb after playing it because it was terribly easy. There was no skill involved. It's a shame that this game was even released. And this was the very first time that Mario was even captured, in any of his games. In any games of the Mario universe. It was horrible. This came out for the Super NES and also came out for the NES. I think this is one of the final games that came out on the NES. And it was, oh gosh, it was horrible. Have you guys even played any of these games?
Wasn't that the one AVGN talked about in an episode?
He touched on that as well as the Irate Gamer. I mean, the games were abysmal.
Well, I mean, I think that it's crazy that Mario's Missing, even on the NES, didn't have the same graphics as Super Nintendo.
That's what's interesting. That's a good point, because when you look at the graphics, it's like they ripped them right out of the Super Mario World. It looks
right,
great.
Yeah. Well, I've never played it, and I haven't heard any good things about it. But
there are no good things. Only an extreme Mario completionist who wants to own every game in the series will pick this up. But for the most part, it's garbage. I don't like them.
Okay.
It was even more garbage. Do I have to talk about Hotel Mario?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I've only seen, I think, AVGN play it, but
yeah, I haven't played it either because and where I come from, you have to be rich in order to pick up a CGI system and find a copy of Hotel Mario. I mean, it doesn't look bad when you look at the game itself when you're playing it. It does look challenging, but there were cutscenes in this game, and they were absolutely ridiculous. That game was horrible. I didn't like that at all, just looking at it. But actually, the CDI wasn't very popular anyways. I think it went under a couple years after it was released. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Nick, what did you think of Hotel Mario? I mean, I'm sure you haven't played it, but what did you think of it in general?
I've seen the. I question why they release some of these games. It just, I've seen the playthrough, and I just wanted to bang my head into a wall.
Yeah, well, they had a what was it that Nintendo was in development with what did it come out for the CDI, right?
Yeah,
3DO.
Nintendo and Philips. It was a Philips CDI, by the way.
Yeah,
they were in partnership. They were in partnership. They were a CD-based add-on for the Super Nintendo, and that didn't really work out. But at the same time, when those plans fell through, they already signed an agreement that Philips was going to develop games for Nintendo, or allow Philips to use Nintendo properties to make games for it. And since that didn't go through, Philips developed their own system, and that's why I got the CDI, and that's why we had a really bad Mario game, 3 really shitty Zelda games.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at that game, the Hotel Mario game, I mean, it looks good. I think the graphics are actually really nice, especially for the time. But the game is just boring. I mean, you go down these different these elevators, and it's just boringness. It's like, if you're gonna take something, especially something like Mario, I mean, make it something people want to play. There's no way people tested this and was like, oh, this game kicks ass. There's no way. So I don't know. I mean,
Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wish they would have made something a little better because, I mean, even if your console is a laughingstock, the games don't have to be. You look at something like the Sega CD or, you look at in my opinion, the Virtual Boy. I mean, they have their titles that kick ass that you can't get anywhere else. So it's like, just because, the CDI might have, gone under doesn't mean that every game had to have been shit. You look at these Zelda games that are just, I don't ever want to see again in my life. But, it's like they could have done something good with this, and they could have made it something people would actually want to play. I don't know, made it a puzzle game, make it anything.
Nick? Oh, I'm sorry, we all talked to you about that. Sorry about that. If you have any other opinions about it.
I'm at this point where I think if they have a name attached to a game, they're going to try to sell it just to see how much money they can make off of it, and that's really what it ended up feeling like.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I know that we're still trying to get Michael Burhan back onto the show. If we're not able to, I'll still do some plugs for him later on. But it's interesting that when you mentioned about CDI and Mario games, they were actually making a Mario game, a full-blown Mario title for the CDI. Right. There was a prototype of it that you can see online, actually, and it looked great. I was really hoping if that would have been released, that would have sold more CDI units, but it was not to be. But speaking of Virtual Boy, there was a couple of Mario games that came out in that. We're going to touch on these very briefly. And I'm talking about Mario Tennis and, of course, it's this one, I forgot the name, Mario Clash. That's the name of it. These games, this was one Virtual Boy, which is supposed to be a 3D virtual reality unit. And it was the worst thing Nintendo has ever released.
See, I don't feel that way. I don't think so. I think Virtual Boy kicked ass. I loved it when I was a kid. Maybe. I've tried it, though. To be honest, I've tried it, and I couldn't use it for more than 10 minutes. My eyes felt like you're going to off my head. The game... Turn on the automatic pause for that. Every game had the option of automatic pause. What are you saying?
I was going to say, sorry, I was chewing on a gummy worm. I actually tried that in one of those Target kiosks. They actually had Virtual Boy set up, and I tried it. And don't get me wrong, it's easy to operate. It was such an eye strain, and I think that's the reason why the system didn't sell very well, and also because there's very, very little third-party development for that system. I think like Ocean released a game for that unit. Yeah, they released Waterworld. Yeah, and I think another company developed something else that was another third party, but again, Atlas did Jack Brothers. Yeah, that's it. And that game was only released in Japan, wasn't it? No, it was here. I have a copy. Oh, awesome. But anyways, Mario Clash, that was a 3D version of the Mario Brothers arcade game. I think it's like, 99 levels or more than that? Yeah, I had that game, and I got bored really quickly. It's kind of a boring game. As far as Mario Tennis was concerned, I really liked the game, and that was a pack-in title. I had a great time with that game. I thought it was awesome. I am a huge defender of the Virtual Boy. When we were kids, my sister went to Toys R Us, and she bought the system brand new for $18, and like every game for like $4 a piece. And I loved it. It's one of my favorites still. People call it, this big failure, which it probably is, but just because it failed doesn't mean it wasn't necessarily good. I love the Virtual Boy, and I have almost all the games for it, and I think it's awesome. Have you done a review of that system? No, I need to, though. I got to do one. Okay. Nick, what do you think of these two games?
I cannot touch one of those Virtual Boy systems only because of the fact that my eyes just don't work well with it, and I get a really bad headache and nauseous. But looking at the gameplay, and I love handhelds, don't get me wrong, but I really think that they could have done better with this system and the games themselves.
I completely agree that they could have done better, like if with a whole different design. But with the design that was made and how things work, I am a big fan. And I completely agree they could have done something better and different and all that kind of shit. But what came out, I personally love it. I think it's amazing. And it's like the black sheep of the Nintendo family, and I think it's amazing. It's probably only because one thing I talk about in a lot of segments is if you buy something for $500 and it sucks ass, you're probably going to hate it more than you normally would if somebody gave it to you and it sucked ass. So it's like the fact that my sisters bought one at a Toys R Us brand new for $18, like there's no real like hit to my wallet on that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't hate it because it was so expensive. So it's just like I like it because of what it was and because, my sisters, spent probably $30 and bought the console. They probably even got a discount because they wanted to get rid of it. And I think they got like 4 or 5 games, and I've bought the rest since. But, so to me, it's I like it for what it was and for the cheap thing that it was.
Okay. I totally agree. But that's cool. It's brand new, $18 and $4 for the games. That's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. And I still have Tolero Boxer. It wasn't even open.
Now that game I actually want to try.
Yeah, that was not bad. My favorite game on there, Jack Brothers is really good. Wario Land is really good. Mario Tennis kicks ass.
Maybe I should give this system another chance.
Yes, you absolutely should. Yes.
You got me sold. Okay.
Good. You know what? Yo, you fucking send me a text afterwards. I got an extra one. We'll work some deal out.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
All right. But let's continue on. We're going to jump into Nintendo's major system from the 90s.
Yeah.
Apart from the Super NES, Nintendo released what I think is the coup de grace. I mispronounced that. I'm sorry. But anyways, what I think is a really awesome system. This was one of the 2 launch games that came out for the Nintendo 64 when it was released in 1996. And of course, I'm talking about Super Mario 64. And in this game, Princess Peach sends Mario a letter inviting him to join her at her castle for some cake. However, when he arrives, Mario discovers that Bowser has once again invaded the castle and imprisoned the princess and her servants within it, using the castle's 120 power stars. Many of the castle's paintings are portals to other worlds, in which Bowser's minions guard the stars. Mario explores the castle and these other worlds to recover the stars. He gains access to more painting portals as he recovers more of these stars, and he traverses 3 obstacle courses that lead him to battles with Bowser. Defeating Bowser the first 2 times earns Mario keys that opens new levels to the castle, while the final battle releases Peach, who rewards Mario by baking the cake that she promised him. This game was awesome. I loved it. This is the first game I got from the Nintendo 64 when I got the system. This first system I ever bought. And when I got Super Mario 64, I was in high school at the time. I purposely would stay up till 2 in the morning playing the game because it was that crazy awesome of a game. And the 3D graphics, they are primitive today by today's standards, but back then, man, the game was awesome as hell. So, Nick, please tell me you played Super Mario 64, and if so, what did you think?
Wasn't this the one they released for the DS or the 3DS?
They did. That was a launch title for the DS. So Super Mario 64 DS, which actually. There's some things about that particular release. We'll get to that here in a moment. But let's talk about Super Mario 64.
I actually, unfortunately, never got to play Nintendo 64. We only had, when I played the Nintendo, other than outside of handhelds, we only had the SNES.
Okay. But have you seen the game in action? And so
I have, yeah. It kind of, I don't know, and I'm probably going to get a lot of a lot of feedback, negative feedback for this, but to me it almost feels like some of the Mario games, the way it plays through, it just feels like it's on an endless loop and a repeat after a while.
But this is actually the very first true 3D Mario game. And of course, the analog controller that came with the system, that was Mario 64 was built for that controller, and rightfully so. I mean, that game was like a demonstration of what you can do with the controller and what else the system could possibly do. But I'm sorry you never got a chance to play the game. I think you would have liked it. And by the way, I think we've got our good friend Burhan back on. Hey, Burhan.
Michael Burhan is back. Michael Burhan's phone died, so Michael Burhan had to wait till he got home in order to actually contact you on Skype.
Okay. All right. Well, Burhan, I'm glad you joined us because first of all, we only got like a few minutes left of the show. So I will say this, anybody who is listening to the live show, thank you so much for listening to us this evening. We're going to be heading into the archives here in a few moments. So if you want to listen to the rest of the show, go check out the archives. And we're going to go ahead and continue on here. And Burhan, we are talking about Super Mario 64. Thoughts?
Super Mario 64 was a game that came packaged for the N64.
Nope.
It did, over here in the UK.
Oh, it did? Okay, never mind.
Yes. And Michael Burhan played it the first time when his brother actually got the N64. And Michael Burhan enjoyed it. And Michael Burhan thought it was an awesome game. And Michael Burhan thought that the way that they actually played around with the game and also used the cartridge space was awesome.
And also, speaking of cartridges, I've heard this in a podcast when OneUp.com had podcasts when they were around. They actually mentioned that Nintendo 64 did not have a sound chip in the system at all. Everything that was sound related was built into the cartridge.
Yes.
Because I guess it's this whole falling out between Nintendo and Sony and Philips. So they didn't really know how to develop a sound chip, so they just had them programmed into the games. And I think they were just music files. They were just on an endless loop.
Michael Burhan enjoyed those music. Michael Burhan thought it was awesome. And it's also the game that developed into other game franchises like Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2, which Michael Burhan thought was enormous and amazing and was kind of sexual at the same time.
Oh, jeez. Mario 64, what you think?
Yeah, awesome. Fucking awesome. One thing I loved about it, and, people say like N64 used a lot of hub worlds, and they definitely did in that console, but I loved the hub worlds in that game. I thought it was so awesome. It was so good. The game, it's like there's like Mega Man X when I was in high school. Booch, who I talk about, we've actually had him on the show. He was obsessed with Mega Man and Mega Man.
Leave my shoes.
X. What's up?
No, I'm talking to my son. He's lying on the floor grabbing my shoes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I used to bust his balls all the time, and I was like, Mega Man X is gay, and it's for gay people. Just, whatever, or assholes. And then, I played it in, 2005, and it, blew my fucking mind. Yeah, I had never played it when I was a kid. Not gay as in gay, just gay as in, Louis C.K., I mean nothing against homosexuals. Anyway, I played it in, 2005, and it blew my fucking mind how good that game was. When I was a kid, I didn't have an N64. I had a PlayStation 1. And I played Mario 64 in 2008 for the first time, and I feel like such a douche because I had never played it back in the day, and it was
Michael
the same.
Burhan agrees that Zack Latour is being a bit of a douche.
Yes, but it gave me the same effect as Mega Man X. This is something I missed out. This game is amazing. It's so well done. It's awesome. It kicks ass. It's an amazing Mario game, and it's awesome.
Very much so.
I agree that it was an awesome game.
But let's go on to the next game. Well, actually, let me give you a little... I already talked about Mario 64 and I thought of it. But I guess we could go ahead and talk briefly about when Super Mario 64 DS was released alongside the launch of the Nintendo DS. What I was going to get at is there was these... EGM was released this April Fool's joke a few years back, saying that there was going to be there was a secret in Mario 64 where you can release if you could find Luigi in the game, he'd be a playable character. Of course, that was false. But when Super Mario 64 DS came out, you actually played not only as Mario, but also Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi. And I guess at that time, this was the true version of Super Mario 64 that Shigeru Miyamoto wanted. But that didn't come to fruition. But of course, now you got the DS version, and the graphics were a little bit better. The controls felt a little strange at first, because you got used to using the circle pad on the analog stick on the N64 controller. That was gone in this version. You had just the traditional control pad, up, down, left, right, and that was it. It felt a little strange, but what they did was you can use the stylus on the touchscreen. You can also control the characters that way, but that still felt a little awkward. But regardless, each of the characters had their own abilities that they use in certain worlds, and you had to unlock them at certain points in the game.
Wario as well, didn't they?
What's that?
They inserted Wario into that one as well, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, like I said, they had Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi in the game. Each of them had their own abilities.
That's not the reason why an antagonist like Wario was in that game.
Yeah, it's peculiar why they put that in, but to each their own. But anyways, yeah.
Someone wanted some Wario love.
Apparently. But Nick, you were going to touch on that subject, but what did you think of that game?
I actually got a little bit of a chance to play that. My ex's son had it, and it's one I really want. That's actually on my list to grab when I do my next pickups, because I enjoyed the fun of it, and I really love DS games, especially anything portable. And to have the 4 different characters, that's really a great thing, because it allows for you to have a chance to step outside of a boundary of just one person all the time.
And I think I'm not sure about this, but they also included extra levels so you can get more stars. I think it's like up to 160 stars this time, I think. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's what they did.
I'm going to have to grab it now and definitely try to see if I can see if that's true.
Yeah. Who else has played Super Mario 64 DS? Okay, I guess nobody else.
Michael Burhan has played it, but Michael Burhan is busy trying to get his son into bed because he's messing around.
Okay.
Michael Burhan has played it. It's an awesome game. It's the true Mario 64 game.
Yeah.
And it blew Michael Burhan away because it actually added a rather unique perspective to a game that was already great.
Yes.
And made Michael Burhan's day a millennium, a week and month.
Okay. Zach, did you play Mario 64 DS before?
I have not. The only thing I do know is that you can play as different characters, but I've never got the chance to play it, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, the game looks really good, and there's some graphical improvements. And so instead of, like, when you grab a star and Mario gives that victory sign and looks all blocky and stuff, they actually kind of smoothed it out a little bit so he actually looks like he had proper fingers.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
it was a great game, and it showed how it's actually quite funny how you had this big blocky machine trying to play that game. You couldn't even fit the amount of data that you fit it onto that small DS.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, of course, there was big technological differences between 1996 and 2005, but again, that's neither here nor there.
Right.
No, wait, I'm sorry, that system came out in 2003. I'm sorry about that. Where's 2? Anyways, forget it. It's a great game. But anyways, going back to the console Mario games, we didn't get a full-fledged Mario adventure game for 5 years. 6 years, really. Because the next game that came out in the Mario universe was Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube. This was not a launch title. This actually came out a year after the system was released.
Did we skip Mario RPG, or are we not doing that?
Oh, we are actually... you're right. Let's backtrack a little bit. Because actually Super Mario RPG came out just before the Nintendo 64 did. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Let's go back. We'll talk about Mario RPG.
What did Travis? He left out on the greatest Mario games known to man.
Sorry about that. Let's talk about Zach. Why don't you go and take the reins on this one?
Well, Mario RPG was a game that was much different from a lot of Mario games. First of all, it was an RPG. Second of all, it involved 2 new characters who were never in any other Mario games ever. Mallow, who was a cloud, and Gino, I think he was almost like the idea of Pinocchio, like a wooden doll who came to life. And then Bowser actually joined you on this excursion, I guess you would say. And the idea is that Bowser's castle was taken over by Smithy, this guy named Smithy, and I guess Mushroom Kingdom was taken over. So you have to go collect these 7. It's called, the full title is Mario RPG. What is the subtitle of that game?
Quest for the 7 Stars, something like that.
It's Mario RPG. Legend of the 7 Stars. So you got to go collect these 7 stars, and like I said, so you eventually have Mario, you have Peach, you have Bowser, you have Gino, you have Mallow, and I want to say those are the 5 main characters in the game. And you can meet Yoshi. Luigi has a star where he wishes he could be as great as Mario. There is like an ultimate boss who's from Final Fantasy II, which is 4 over here, I think. And there's it's just really, really awesome. One cool thing about that game is it separated itself from a lot of RPGs, because in a lot of RPGs you go to attack and then they do the attack, but in Super Mario RPG you could attack. So say you did jump, and you could keep pressing the action button, and you could, if you press it at the right time, you could keep jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping to do a shitload of damage, which they continued throughout the Mario RPG type series. One thing that was cool, I think at 50 jumps, you got like the super jump. I think you could, like, I think the regular jump you could only do like 10 or something, or whatever, and then the super jump you could do like infinite. And like if you got 50 on the super jump, you got something special. If you got 100, you got something special. But they're so hard to do. But anyway, the graphics are probably, in my opinion, the best on Super Nintendo, if not just really up to par with Donkey Kong Country. It's just an awesome game. It just kicks ass. It's one of my favorites, and yeah, it just rules. I hope that's good for people.
Michael Burhan agrees and believes that the game destroys any Sonic made.
Yeah. Say, Nick, have you played Mario RPG?
It's an RPG. I mean, I love the idea of actually having a Mario game that you don't have as a platformer, and what Zach was saying, about the how the gameplay and mechanics, it really does work well.
I mean, it was a beautiful culmination with Square, then known as SquareSoft and Nintendo. It is definitely, we said this before. That game is definitely, there will never be another Mario RPG game like that, because, well, there is only one Super Mario RPG. But anyways, but actually before we continue on with Super Mario Sunshine, let's backpedal a little bit and let's just talk about a debut of a series on the Super Nintendo that still carries on today with every Nintendo console release. And I'm referring to Super Mario Kart, which debuted on the Super Nintendo in 1992. And this basically, you had all the Nintendo characters plus Donkey Kong, who raced around different tracks based on the Mario universe. And this game is still tons of fun today. And I still see sites like ScrewAttack.com where they do, they're screwing around things to do on Fridays. They sometimes play that game. And this game is just awesome. It's fun. It's fast. I mean, in places like it's built like F-Zero, only with it going like 200, 300 miles per hour. It's just a kart racing game. And I
want to ask everyone here: has anyone here actually beaten Super Mario Kart?
I have.
You have.
I have.
Very cool. Because Russ talks about how this game is just a fucking troll, and it's just like, it cheats, and it's like to actually finally beat every single race, it's a bunch of fucking cheating assholes.
Well, you have to look at it this way. That is how the entire Mario Kart series works. The game, it starts off with three different race types based on the motors. Right. At 50cc, it's easy mode. The game will be like, okay, yeah, you can win this. Go ahead. Then it gets 100cc. It's like, all right, well, we're going to try to bring it in. We're going to make it a little more fair this time. Then get 150cc. It's like, oh, it is so on. It's not the game is cheap. I mean, there's moments where the game is cheap, but depending on the class that you're in that determines how cheap the game is going to get.
Right, but have you beaten it at 150cc?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, Rainbow Road on 150cc, it will kick your ass. But I've done it. Who else has played Super Mario Kart?
Oh, I played it. It's a troll, yeah.
It's a troll. Nick?
I've tried Mario Kart, and it beats me every time. I can never play that game without losing.
You just got to keep working at it. That's how I got through it. But yeah. And Burhan, did you play Super Mario Kart, and what did you think of it?
Michael Burhan has played Super Mario Kart. Michael Burhan completed Super Mario Kart and all its incarnations. And
Oh yeah, because you
enjoys it immensely. And yes, it is one big troll, because once you complete the game, all you get is a you win sign in first place. That's it. And then all the levels backwards. And then you do all the levels backwards, and it's the same damn thing. There's no end thing. It's just Mario Kart saying, yes, first place. That's it. Michael Burhan enjoys that. Michael Burhan thinks there should be more games that troll like this, because the gameplay in the game equals to none. Extremely frustrating. And it allows you to play with friends.
the way
and
you should.
Burhan loves little tactics such as the shells. And Michael Burhan loved playing the Koopa Trooper, because it always had everything in terms of stats.
That's true. I used to play that way too, and then I graduated to playing Mario, and then realized, Mario handles very loosely in the game.
He's as loose as a hooker.
Yeah.
The worst.
He is one of the worst characters in that game. Koopa Trooper or Toad for Michael Burhan, because Michael Burhan knows that they're the characters that you should play, because they are equal to one another.
And then going on, we're talking about Super Mario Kart. Well, I guess we can throw this in there too, because it's released at the same time. Mario Paint. I mean, that's not really a full
The best thing about Mario Paint is the fly swatting game.
Yes! That was fun. And actually, that was brought back in another Mario title.
No, wasn't it the Wario one?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, WarioWare. I think that was in the DS game, I think. Yes, it was. It was when we released Mario Kart. Sorry about that. WarioWare for the DS. They actually brought back the fly swatting game. I think.
I had enjoyed that fly swatting.
It was in one of those. I can't remember what it was. But anyways, yeah, they brought that back, and it was fun as hell. Anyways, let's just jump back into what we were talking about earlier with Super Mario Sunshine. No, sorry. We're missing it. Mario Kart 64. Boy, my brain is all scattered.
And Michael Burhan believes that Mario Sunshine shines out of the back of his own arse.
But anyways, Mario Kart 64, it's another Mario Kart game, but this was on the Nintendo 64 and introduced 3D tracks and actual hills that can go up and down, introduced some new weapons and some more characters you can play with. It was basically more of the same, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun. Burhan, besides me, you're the quintessential Mario Kart fanatic. Tell me about Mario Kart 64.
Mario Kart 64, Michael Burhan, was different. Very blocky. That whole 3D aspect thing going. Michael Burhan enjoyed it. Michael Burhan played.
Okay. And Zack.
Zack Latour, for some reason, has had his call dropped.
Oh, no. Okay, we'll try again back in. Nick.
I never played Mario Kart on the 64.
Oh, that's right. You said you didn't have a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Michael Burhan isn't sorry.
But let's we'll carry on. We will go on to Super Mario Sunshine. This game actually got a lot of flack from Nintendo fans and Mario fans alike. But anyways, how this game works is in Super Mario Sunshine, Mario, Toadsworth, interesting name, and Princess Peach take a vacation to Isle Delfino, a tropical resort, island, I should say. A person resembling Mario, known as Shadow Mario, vandalizes and pollutes the entire island using a magic paintbrush. The vandalism has caused the Shine Sprites to flee from the island's main city, Delfino Plaza, and blanket the island in darkness. Blamed for the mess, Mario is arrested by the island authorities and ordered to clean up Isle Delfino. Mario is equipped with Flood, a robotic hosing device invented by Professor E. Gadd, which he uses to clean up this pollution and collect the Shine Sprites. Meanwhile, Peach is kidnapped by Shadow Mario, who reveals himself to be Bowser Jr., spoilers, one of Bowser's children, having stolen the paintbrush from Professor E. Gadd. Mario eventually confronts Bowser and Bowser Jr. and rescues the princess. With the island cleaned up, Mario and Peach begin their vacation.
Michael Burhan just wants to know one thing.
What's that?
How can Bowser have so many kids? Who's the mother?
Oh, we're going to touch on this again. Oh, Christ. We all
It's a reasonable question.
Princess Peach is nothing but a whore, we know. But anyways.
Michael Burhan
We all know that.
is a whore. And Zack Latour knows that he's been with Princess Peach.
Yeah. But this game, I actually liked it. I mean, I don't know what was so controversial about it. It was introduced some new play dynamics in terms of Flood, that device that Mario was using. I liked the game, but a lot of people didn't really care for it, and I can't see why.
Because it's not a standard Mario game. Michael Burhan can actually state.
Well, I don't know why that, but I don't know why.
Game mechanics from a standard Mario game, and people don't like change.
Well, I don't like change either, but it was still a Mario game, although it just introduced some different dynamics into it. I mean, let's look at if that's the case, let's look at Mario Galaxy here in a few moments. That introduced some different dynamics, and that was totally different, and that improved it.
Use the troopers and all those stuff.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, if we're going to split hairs, but anyways, I liked Mario Sunshine. I thought it was a great game. I never finished it. I'm sad that I haven't. I got to track down a copy so I can finish it once and for all. But anyways.
I believe in emulation.
I don't believe in emulation. I'd rather have the real product. We've discussed this before. But anyways.
But please, that's what Travis does get up to. And yes, Travis does like a couple of French hookers.
Ooh, wee wee. Anyways, Zach, Mario Sunshine.
You know, I've only watched my roommate play it. Booch played it. But it looks amazing. It looks so good. You know, I have just recently gotten it, and unfortunately, I know everyone don't hate on me. I'm sorry, I'm between places at the moment, but I've just recently gotten it. I can't wait to play it. It looks fucking awesome. I know it kicks ass. Yeah, it's really good. What's up?
Uncle Burhan knows it kicks ass.
But yeah, Burhan knows it, but I know I can't wait to play it. It looks kick-ass. I know I've heard from Booch. Booch is my homeboy, and you know he's kind of like the dude. If he says it kicks ass, it kicks ass. So he says it rules. So I'm going to play it very soon, and I know it kicks ass.
Michael Burhan approves.
And I totally approve too. And like I said, I need to find me a copy. But Nick, even though you missed out on Nintendo 64, did you have a GameCube? And if so, did you try Mario Sunshine?
My parents actually have a Wii, and they have a copy of Mario Sunshine. And I started to play it, and I don't think it's a matter of people don't like change. I think it's the actual story itself and how you tackle the game more than anything else in terms of having to clean up an island, because it doesn't feel adventurous like a Mario game should. And I think that's the reason why it's gotten so much flack.
Well, that's just maybe. I don't know. I think it's people just were expecting another Mario 64, and when they saw that this is what Nintendo was coming out with, that's probably what turned them off. But I feel sorry for those who turned their noses up to this game, because it's actually a lot of fun. I really like it.
Uncle Burhan agrees. It is a lot of fun.
And of course, another Mario Kart game came out on that system, known as Mario Kart Double Dash. This introduced a different way of playing the game, because not only are you driving, but you also have a partner in the game. And you can also have two weapons available to you at the same time. And graphically, it was a big improvement over Mario 64, obviously. and introduced some other characters. You even had Baby Mario and Baby Luigi make an appearance in this game. And Daisy was in this as well. Some other new characters. The game was
Luigi's sloppy second.
But Mario Kart Double Dash, pretty good. And I still got the game today. It's so.
The noise that they actually made the time he poked her was do 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 do. I fucked your girlfriend.
Okay. And real quickly, Double Dash. Thoughts, everybody?
Double Dash kicks ass. It's the best one, in my opinion, that's ever been made. And I talked about it in an episode before of fucking Get Your Nerd On. I said, Nintendo, quit what the fuck you're doing and make an 8-player fucking Double Dash so that we can play drunk Mario Kart. So 4 people can be driving while 4 people are fucking drinking beers in the back, and you keep swapping and swapping and swapping until someone wins the game.
Uncle Burhan concurs.
Didn't somebody find a way to actually create a land version of Mario Kart where we could do just that?
I hope so.
Because the GameCube could connect to the internet somehow, but they can somebody actually came up with a thing. It's called Warpipe or something that actually allowed for like a land-based Mario Party game where 4 people on each system can race each other. So you have like an 8-player race.
Uncle Burhan's gonna say a dirty word, a word that Travis doesn't like.
Okay, Moon. And Nick.
Population.
Nick, Double Dash.
On YouTube for Mario Kart Double Dash, LAN, working on Dolphin 3.5, that allows you to play 8 players.
Ooh, awesome. And, okay, well, Nick, Double Dash, what you think?
I watched my nephew playing it, and to me it was just another Mario Kart clone, and just lost interest in it.
It's the same. And, Burhan, you played this. What'd you think of it?
Did this? Well, Burhan got it on loan from one of my brother's friends, and Michael Burhan completed the game within a week, and Michael Burhan severely enjoyed it. It was like a running game-gasm of cards and stuff, and Michael Burhan enjoyed himself. And Michael Burhan actually enjoyed it so much he bought a copy of the game, and it still sits on his shelf.
Okay. But anyways, next up, let's see here. So really, we didn't see another Mario Adventure game until, well, when we had the DS, and then 2006 we had. Well, actually, before we get to that, there's another Mario RPG game that one of the panel members wants to talk about, and we're talking about Superstar Saga. That's Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, Nick. Is that correct?
That is correct, and actually, I really think that for the GBA, this is one of the best RPGs out there. It has a great story behind it. The graphics are wonderful, and one of the great things about this game is really that they don't skip on the story. It's just, I don't know, I love it, and I know a lot of people don't like RPGs, and especially when you have Mario, who you're used to being in a platform game, it really does work, because there's so much that carries over into it, and it's just nice to see more of a story in a game than just jumping around.
Yeah, I've never experienced this game, so I'll have to sit this one out. So who else has played this game?
No, I agree. Like, it's a really, really good game. I love the idea of, like, combining almost Mario and Luigi, like, together as, like, you're controlling the two of them. But, like, okay, so my buddy Rob Fortune, as you've seen in some videos, he was saying, like, when Mario RPG came out, it was kind of like the design of Square, but like the comedy and humor from Nintendo. And that's something that is very true to a lot of these games. It's like, you know, Mario RPG was funny because of Nintendo, not Square, and they were and Paper Mario was funny because of Nintendo, and this game was funny because of Nintendo, and it's a really funny game, and it will make you laugh, and you'll laugh while playing, and it will make you want to keep playing the game, and the game kicks ass. So yes, if someone out there doesn't have it, get it. It's really good. It's a great addition to the Mario RPG lineage, I guess.
I might have to look into that because I just got a GBA for my sister, so I'm gonna have to try.
GBH, did you say?
Yeah, my sister had a GBA SP. and I got that from her because she was playing it. So,
Travis is grievously bodily harming someone.
Okay. Well, Michael Burhan, what does Michael Burhan think of Superstar Saga?
Michael Burhan enjoyed Superstar Saga. Michael Burhan only played halfway through it. Michael Burhan put it down and hasn't picked it up since. But enjoyed what he played.
Okay. Well, you told me I'm going to go try that game out. But let's go on to another portable Mario game. This was on the Nintendo DS, released in 2006, and it was a perfect homage to the classic Super Mario Brothers games. And, of course, I'm talking about New Super Mario Brothers. And just like any of these Mario games, the princess gets captured yet again as they were taking a walk through the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser Jr. kidnaps Peach and flees. Mario gives chase, venturing through the 8 worlds, and eventually catches up, defeating defeating Bowser and Bowser Jr. Wow, and rescuing Peach. And this actually launched a new franchise for Mario, which is the New Super Mario Brothers franchise that has New Super Mario Brothers in the DS, New Super Mario Brothers 2 on the 3DS, and New Super Mario Wii for the Wii, and then of course they have New Super Mario Wii U. So instead of talking about these individually, let's just talk about them as a whole. We're going to start with Burhan. What do you think of the New Super Mario Brothers games themselves?
Michael Burhan enjoyed it because this is exactly what Michael Burhan wanted. He wanted a Mario game that you can play 4 players and play 4 players. The only thing that Michael Burhan hates is that he has a nephew that decides to run ahead and kill everybody because he keeps running ahead and getting us all stuck in a corner. So Michael Burhan picked him up and threw him off a cliff.
Evil!
And then he cried. And Michael Burhan laughed.
And Zach, the New Super Mario Brothers games, what did you think?
Yeah, the only one I played was the DS one, and that game, holy shit, blew my mind. That game is so good. It's like, I know like the Wii one was built around it, and the Wii U one was built around it, and there was probably another one somewhere, but the New Super Mario Brothers for the DS kicks ass. It's so good. It's really a reinventation of the series, and it's great. My first review I ever did online, which I'm not going to tell people what it was because I'm going to bring it, like it was a couple of years ago, and I'm going to bring it back and redo it again. And it was about New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and it kicks ass. And that is a great game to play while you're taking a shit. And dude, game rules, and yes, I love it, and it's amazing.
Michael Burhan agrees. When you take a shit, it is a great game to play.
So, have you ever played New Super Mario Bros. 2 on the 3DS? Zach?
I have not, no.
You gotta check that out. If you really like the Mario these games,
yeah.
New Super Mario Bros. 2 is really great. Although it's all about coins in this game, but that's just mute at this point.
It's all about coins in the first one. You have to get those big ass coins to progress.
Well, in this one here, they have a heavy emphasis on coins. Yeah, because in the New Super Mario Bros. Games, you have to, in order to fully complete the game, you have to find all the star coins are in each level.
Right, those big ass coins. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what I'm saying for New Super Mario Bros. 2, it's all about coins. It's not just about those 3 the star coins. It's all about coins. You'll see if you ever play it.
No, I'll check it out, definitely.
Yeah. And Nick?
I actually have played, I'm trying to think of which one, because I know my nephew has one of them, and I was playing on his Game Boy. And it's one of those games that definitely I would like to get as my own copy and play through, because anything that's handheld, I'm gonna want to try to play it. And I like the design, and it does look great.
It's gorgeous. And I'll tell you this much. My favorite of all the New Super Mario Brothers games is the Wii U version, for the simple fact is it has almost everything except for the Feather Cape. I would love to have seen that come back. But the game is awesome. It's the graphics and thing, even though it's not really a true HD Mario game, it's still beautiful to look at. And it's still a lot of fun to play.
It runs in 720.
Yeah, well, I guess that would qualify as HD, but like I'm talking like a true HD game, which wasn't brought in until Super Mario 3D World, which will be the last game we'll talk about in this episode. But, Super Mario Bros. U, that's the one I love the most of all of them. So, let's see here. Now let's go and talk about another really great franchise that only existed on the Wii, at least until now. I'm talking about Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. This actually introduced Mario into a different universe as he's playing in the stars. And Peach has been kidnapped once again, and Bowser has...
Getting herself kidnapped. If she was dating Michael Burhan would have dumped her in a princess ass. But
the game takes place mostly in the stars and in the galaxy, of course, hence the name Super Mario Galaxy. And Mario actually gets a little help from what do you call those little star things again in the game?
Stars?
Yeah, stars. Well, I thought they had like a specific name.
Stars?
All right. But anyways, this game was... Well, instead of me talking about it, let's go Nick. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, what you think?
I've seen gameplay footage, and the thing is, for me, I don't know. It's just the whole concept after a while gets stale of the princess getting kidnapped, and it just started to lose the interest, especially when it comes to the game having to go back and save her. The gameplay looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but it's just the whole story. I need both to pull me into the game.
It had a pretty cool story, I thought. Well, what made it really cool to play, although it was a little tricky at first, you're controlling Mario with the nunchuck, and you're also using the Wii remote to point at the screen to collect all these star bits that are falling from the sky, or you get them from enemies. And it actually acts as currency that you can use to feed these other big stars, to feed them at full capacity to unlock new worlds, which I thought was an interesting thing that they've done. But the game was still a lot of fun to play, and I still love it. Nick, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, what'd you think? I'm trying to Nick, Zach, sorry.
Oh, unfortunately, get ready to beat me with a fucking bag of oranges. I haven't played either of them.
Well, that's okay.
That's also a communist.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well that's fine. But I'm sure you've seen it, and what you think of it after what you've seen of it.
Oh, I think it looks fucking awesome. My sister had a Wii for a long time, and in the one of our pickup videos, she gave me some of her games, but I can't wait to play it. I mean, it looks fucking. It's a Mario game, and it's gonna kick ass. But I can't wait to play it. It looks badass. I did see a speed run once, and it was. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it's just kick ass. It's just Mario. It's kind of like you look at Mario Brothers, Mario Land, Mario World, Mario Galaxy. It's just like it's like the next tier, and it's gonna kick ass.
Okay, and it does kick ass. So if you ever get a chance to play it, you're gonna love it. Trust me. And Burhan, your thoughts on Galaxy 1 and 2?
Michael Burhan played Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and Mario Galaxy 2 was Mario with Yoshi and such. I enjoyed it. Great game, great story. Brought out everything that we needed to see in regards to Mario, giving him a whole new dimension, and it also added Rosalina to it. I love a girl Mario to bang.
I was just going to say, wow. I was going to say that Rosalina, that's the new character they introduced in the Mario universe was Rosalina, and tell you the truth, she's mighty fine. I think she's a lot more attractive than Princess Peach, but that's just my opinion.
Travis Goss likes himself a bit of Mario Horse.
Actually, he's all about Harley Quinn, but again, that's another time for another episode. But anyways, there's been some other Mario games, but let's just kind of touch on some of the other ones before we get to the final game, which is Mario 3D World. Let's make this kind of quick. Paper Mario, we've already touched about that. It has, 4 games in the series. You got the one that came out on the Nintendo 64. You got Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door on the GameCube, Super Paper Mario on the Wii, and then Paper Mario Seeker Star for the 3DS. Real quick, guys, what you guys think of those games? Nick, we'll start with you.
In terms of the whole, like, the Paper Mario thing, especially when they went to the sticker on the 3DS, it I don't know what it is that it just had no appeal. I've seen it, but it's almost too cartoony for me in a way, and I just think that they could have done a little bit better with it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know.
That's fine. And Zach, the Paper Mario games, what you think?
The first one kicks all kinds of ass. Like I said, I think the first Paper Mario is a little long. The last dungeon bored the shit out of me, almost just like the last dungeon in Super Mario RPG, in my opinion, bored the shit out of me. I need to play Sticker Star, and I just got Super Paper Mario, so I haven't got to play that. I think they're great additions, and I think the ideas of them kick ass. What were the other games that you were talking about?
Paper Mario for the N64, Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Door for the GameCube, Super Paper Mario, and then, of course, Sticker Star.
Oh, okay, so just those four. Yeah, well, Paper Mario is the original Paper Mario is the only one I've played and beaten. The other ones I need to play. I do have 1,000-Year Door, and I need to play it, and I do have Super Paper Mario, but I will play them, and I will fucking beat them. And the original one kicked ass. I didn't like it as much as I didn't like it as much as Mario RPG, and I also didn't like it as much as what was the one we talked about before? Fucking the other RPG one there, Superstar Saga. But it still kicks ass, and it's a very funny game, and it's good, and it's still worth a playthrough by everyone.
And Burhan.
Michael Burhan enjoyed it. Michael Burhan thought it was a good game, but it was no Mario RPG.
And of course, there's some other Mario RPG games featuring Mario and Luigi. You got Partners in Time, and Bowser's Inside Story, and of course the latest one, Dream Team. I haven't played these games. So Nick, since you're the quintessential Mario and Luigi fanatic, what do you think of these games?
I haven't played all the way through Bowser's Inside Story, and I haven't gotten to Dream Team yet. But overall, I mean, if you go from Superstar Saga really to Partners in Time, you see it keeps the humor, like Zach said, but the ability to play as like the baby Mario and Luigi in that Switch, it's really funny to actually see these babies attacking monsters. It is a great series overall, and especially with Bowser's Inside Story, they took the humor to another level, and in Nintendo Power Magazine, they were actually talking about Inside Bowser, where you get the Emo Goblins, wanting to change it to something else where they got the Emo Goblins instead. And just the way they portray them is hilarious, and it's really worth playing.
Oh, okay. And Burhan, what did you think?
Michael Burhan's only played one of them, which is Brothers in Time. Michael Burhan played it while he was in hospital with a broken finger. Michael Burhan didn't like that game.
Yeah, okay. And Zach, did you play any of those Mario and Luigi games?
Yeah, like Superstar Saga.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think I already touched on that. Sorry about that. My mind's just going 1,000 miles a minute. Sorry about that. But anyways, let's see here. And let's just go ahead and real quickly, let's talk about all the sports games that Mario has been in. Now, there's a long, long list of them. So instead of just going through all of them, let's just tackle the ones that we've played. So I'll just talk about, I played Superstar Baseball.
I love that game. Yeah, I love that game. I thought it was kick-ass. A lot of the times the Mario games, I don't really like sports games, but a lot of times the Mario games bring me into sports games and have fun playing them. Like Mario Golf, I love that game, or the Toadstool Tour, even NES Open, things like Super Mario Kart, that kind of stuff. Because even Super Mario Kart, which I like so much, NASCAR Rumble was the same idea of Super Mario Kart, which I also like. So that kind of broadened my horizon. So yeah, I mean, there's so many good games.
Mm. And I've always wanted to try Super Mario Strikers. Just never got around to getting a chance to play that yet. But I do like soccer, or for the rest of the world, football. Yeah, I want to try that. Burhan, did you play any of the Mario sports games?
Yes.
And which ones? and what'd you think? You there?
Yes.
Okay. No, I was just asking what Mario sports games have you played and what you think of them?
Majority of them.
Okay. Well, that sums it up. And Nick, have you played any of the Mario sports games, and which ones and what you think?
I actually, honestly, haven't played any of the sports games. I'm not a big sports fan, so I could just never see myself buying them because of that.
They definitely are different than regular sports games. They don't take themselves as serious, and they're kind of funny, and you can troll while playing them. So, I mean, they definitely have a different audience than, like, say, like, fucking NBA 2K6 or whatever. But they're definitely worth the play. I mean, if you find them, even for, if you find them pretty cheap, pick one up and play it. You'll really like it.
Exactly. I mean, they're very arcadey. I think that's what they're built to be. They're very arcadey.
I agree. They're very arcadey.
Okay.
No, wait, I take it back. I actually played Mario Tennis. I just remembered that, and I don't remember if it was for the Wii or the GameCube. And that actually, a little bit of the humor was fine, but the rest of the gameplay I just couldn't get into.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, and Mario has also had some other types of sports games, but these are Olympic games, and he's not alone for these Olympic games. He has another friend with them, a friend he picked up along the way when Sega decided to go third party. I'm talking about Sonic. And Mario and Sonic had some of these Olympic games that come out every 2 years. I haven't played any of these Olympic games, but I have seen them, and much like the Mario sports games, they are very arcadey. They don't take them too seriously, and they look like they're a lot of fun. Has anybody played any of these games?
Nope, unfortunately, no.
No.
Burhan, have you?
Yes, my nephew likes it. Michael Burhan does not like it. Games are just a cheap cash in, and that they need to stop making them because Michael Burhan feels sad inside, and he thinks they'll just go straight back into his asshole.
Okay, and I think there's one sports game that Mario has been in but has not participated in. And of course, I'm talking about the Punch-Out game. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and of course, it was regular Punch-Out when it was released.
I was in it. He was the referee.
Yep. And he was also referee in tennis as well.
Yes, he was.
Yep. But anyways, we're almost at the end of this episode, so we'll have time to talk about one more Mario game, and this one, it just came out last year, and it's for the Wii U, and I'm talking about Super Mario 3D World, which is a sequel to the 3DS game Super Mario 3D Land, which we forgot to talk about. But we'll bring this in with Mario 3D World.
And I want to actually say about as well that the new Super Mario Brothers Wii and Wii U were on the DS game, which was the new Super Mario Brothers.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Glad you brought that up. So yeah, Mario 3D. Well, let's talk about Mario 3D Land first before we talk about Mario World. Mario 3D Land on the 3DS came out in 2011, and it actually was trying to showcase what the 3DS could do graphically, and how the 3D worlds could be animated on the 3DS. And it was actually, I think it was developed by the same team who made Mario Galaxy, because you definitely got this vibe from that development team. But we're going to start with Burhan. What do you think of Mario 3D Land?
I didn't play it.
Okay.
And the reason why Michael Burhan didn't play it is because Nintendo didn't want to give Michael Burhan a copy of Mario 3D Land because apparently he doesn't qualify because Michael Burhan has a pre-owned 3DS. Nintendo can suck a dick.
Okay, Zach.
Fortunately, I haven't played it either, and I haven't played 3D World, so I have no friends, and I'm not cool.
You have friends, but you give them
never
out.
mind. I have friends.
You have a friend in me. Anyways, Nick, 3D Land. What'd you think?
I haven't played it yet. I don't have a Wii U, and I just actually got my 2DS recently, so I haven't gotten too far into the 3D games yet.
Okay. And, so we'll just finally now talk about 3D World. And Burhan, I know you just love this game, so let's wax a fantastic about it.
Michael Burhan got a copy of Mario 3D World for Michael Burhan's daughter. She enjoyed the game immensely. They all sat down and played it. And Michael Burhan enjoyed it because it matches all of Mario games through time and space and such, and pays tribute to every single one of them. There's a stage where you have the characters racing against one another, a la Mario Kart, with some of the old theme tunes. You get to reenact some of the versions of like Mario Brothers, where they're hitting blocks. You've got the classic characters and the loading screens. It's amazing. The only thing that Michael Burhan wish it had that it doesn't have, which is online multiplayer. Imagine if I could play with Zack and he's Princess Peach.
I'm always dressed as Princess Peach, and I have 4 different kinds of lipstick on my mouth.
Michael Burhan knows, because Michael Burhan takes photos.
That was a sex joke.
Michael Burhan has 4 kinds of lipstick on his knob.
Okay, then yeah. Okay, we did play together recently.
You know, that's something I really would like to see Nintendo do, is try to patch that game so they could have online players play with you and everything. That would be great, because unfortunately I don't have anybody to play the game with me in person, because the game is so gorgeous.
Michael Burhan plays it with his kids, but the problem is none of them actually want to play the game. Instead, they want to jump off of things and die. And it's not actually getting to the goalpost first before the others. And annoying. But Michael Burhan does enjoy the game immensely, and Michael Burhan's going to be doing a playthrough of it, because Michael Burhan loves the game so much. And Nintendo, kudos for making an amazing Mario game. But kudos.
Yes.
Not multiplayer.
Yeah, this definitely was the perfect Mario game of all of them. And of course, this one was not developed by Shigeru Miyamoto, but I think he was a supervisor on this game.
Which is always the best one, because if you look at Mario Land and Mario Land 2, he never actually supervised those games. He never had his hand in the pot, so to speak. It was developed by somebody else. And that's the best way of doing it, because I think sometimes it's always best to have a new perspective.
Not only that, if you get the right people who fully understand the Mario universe and you let them loose on developing a game, a Mario game, you're going to get some tremendous results. And I think even Shigeru Miyamoto, I think he was deeply impressed with it too.
Michael Burhan agrees.
Yeah.
Michael Burhan's extremely impressed.
Yeah. I'm sorry, who else has played 3D World? Anybody? No? Okay.
You're all communists.
But yeah, we got just a few more minutes. We'll just talk about one more thing. And when you say Mario, there was a movie that came out in 1993, released by Hollywood Pictures, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopkins. I fuck up his name.
Dennis Hopper and also Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins, thank you.
Because Bob Hoskins is an Englishman, sounding like he has a Cockney accent, trying to be an Italian plumber. Apparently the role was offered to Tom Hanks, who turned it down, and it was offered to another famous actor who turned it down. And it went to Bob Hoskins because they couldn't find anybody else to play him. And it was terrible.
Time out.
No, I don't think it was terrible. First of all, I haven't seen it. Kyla says how much she likes it, but I will say this, that I love the look of them. It's like a real look to a fake world. So it's like you look at Mario, you look at Luigi. How the fuck do you really bring that to life? You know what I'm saying? How do you bring that to actually things that people would wear? And I feel like they actually wear this kind of stuff, and I think the world actually works in a real type environment. So I haven't seen it, and I'm either going to watch it now, tonight, or tomorrow, but they actually, I feel, bring it to an actual real-life environment.
You know, I haven't seen that movie in 21 years. The first time I've ever seen it was in the theater. I haven't seen it since. But I want to see it again, because even though I knew back then it was garbage, looking back on it now, I actually like it for what it was. I mean, it was kind of like a tribute to the Mario series and to the fans. But unfortunately, it was such a mess to make. There was daily rewrites. People, always trying to invent new things for the movie, almost on the spot. And Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, they were drunk throughout most of the movie anyway, because they were just getting kind of tired of the way production was going, and there was all these constant rewrites. But looking back on it now, it's actually kind of a fun movie to watch.
Michael Burhan believes that it was a great movie for him when he was a child. Michael Burhan can see the flaws in the movie and the reason why it's bad. But Michael Burhan does agree with Zack Latour on the fact that it actually did look like a more realistic version of the Mario Bros. Franchise. But no one wanted to put their hand on the project. Michael Burhan believes that a sequel would have actually ironed out all the issues with the project. And instead, they decided to leave it in limbo. Michael Burhan cried.
Well, okay, with all that being said, it looks like we covered everything we could in this episode. I'm sure there's other Mario games we could have talked about, but we always have a few hours in the show, and we only got a few minutes left of this particular show. So let's just go on to plugs. Nick, fire away.
I'm sorry, could you please repeat that? You cut out on my side.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I cutting on everybody's side?
Nope.
Anyways, Nick, let's do some plugs. What you got?
Go away with your cannon.
I love cannon. But anyways, Nick, plugs. What you got?
That's a love gun. Get it right.
Yes.
I'm sorry, plug myself?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I got a little bit, like I said, I got a little bit cut out, but I know why now.
Plug.
Okay, so you can find me on YouTube at Nick T. Wolf. I do a lot of reviews, starting to get into movies a little bit more. And you can also find me on Facebook as well as Nick T. Wolf YouTube.
Awesome. And Zach?
Yeah, you guys can find me and Kyla, who's normally here. She had to work late today, but you can find us on youtube.com//Getting Your Nerd On. You can find us there. You can find us on, if you search Getting Your Nerd On Facebook. You can go to twitch.tv/Getting Your Nerd On, and Kyla's normally streaming there. And we do all kinds of stuff. We do some Modest Magic. We do some pickups. We do some Let's Plays. We're about to do some top 10s and stuff like that. And finally, you can check out the band I'm in. That's at killtech9.bandcamp.com. That's KILTAC9.bandcamp.com. And yeah, just check us out and let us know what you think. Thanks, man. Thanks, everyone out there.
Michael Burhan fully endorses KillTech9.
Good.
Being Michael Burhan's band of choice.
And Michael Burhan.
Michael Burhan is seen on nerdgenius.com and also on enigma.co.uk, which is Michael Burhan's official film site. Michael Burhan has loads of projects coming out at the moment, including a project called Perspective that he's currently shooting. Michael Burhan has a movie called East London Story Slap or Die, which he starred in, which no one has watched yet. Shame on you, you need to watch it. Michael Burhan also has a book that he's written out because he's a literary scholar. Michael Burhan has had his fingers in every single pie on the planet. Michael Burhan has a new show coming out this month called E-Tank with Xander Scullion, and also The Return of Movie File, which is season 2. Michael Burhan does loads of stuff. You should check out his channel. He is awesome. And now he's on a horse.
Now look at Burhan. Look at me. Now look back at Look at Michael Burhan. Now look at your boyfriend. Now look at Michael Burhan. Now look at your boyfriend.
Look at Travis. Look at Michael Burhan. Look at Travis again. Michael Burhan's on a horse.
There you go. And, of course, myself, Travis Goss, I am the host of a couple of YouTube shows. I got what was called Reviews, and it's a show where I take a look at classic video games, television shows, and movies, and through rose-colored lenses, I see they still stand the test of time. Came out with a very special episode where I talk about some personal issues, and I think everybody needs to watch this video because there's a certain subject that's being passed around here as of late that's very serious, and for some reason it keeps getting swept under the rug, but we need to address this as much as we can. And on the lighter side, go check out my Let's Play channel, Rose Colored Let's Play. And I got some games coming up here. I'm sorry for the delay. There's things happen, but I'm getting all these games recorded for your viewing pleasure, so please stay tuned for that. You can find me here on I Got Gameplay every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on the Retro Unlim Network. Glad to be on this network. And also, if you want to get a hold of me personally, you can find me on Twitter at TravisScott79. And on Thursday nights, I host a show with some other people called Geek Speak that's on 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Check that out as well. And I think that's pretty much everything, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Address one thing first.
What's that?
That gameplay keeps not being mentioned by its parent site, Fanboys Anonymous, as being one of the highest rated shows on that site.
I'm a little shocked. I'll talk to you about that after the show, okay? I mean, it's nothing I'm doing.
Gameplay is I've Got Gameplay, and it's awesome. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you check it out. And also check out Miguel Leon's extremely important, amazing, untitled movie show on Retro Island Network. And check out all the other stuff that we're all in as well. And get your nerd on, because it's an awesome YouTube channel. Michael Burhan's YouTube channel, because Michael Burhan is purely amazing. Michael Burhan is like Jesus Christ.
Oh, hold on. Whoa, hold on. But anyways, for Zack Latour, Michael Burhan, and Nick Enderle, I'm Travis Goss, and we've got gameplay. Have you?
It is Enderle.
Enderle, sorry about that. Nick Enderle. Anyways, we've got gameplay. Oh, fuck.
Michael Burhan likes Enderle.
We've got gameplay. Have you?